All right, guys, welcome back to another live stream. Today we're going to be doing whatever you guys want. We did have a nice list going, but I'm doing something a little bit different. If you look in the chat, I actually have I have a Google form that I've made, and if you guys could fill that out and let us know what it is that you want to see, that would be super helpful. That way I can review and we'll see what people submit, and we'll kind of go from there and give us a better idea of like what you guys actually want to see in Blender. So there's just a couple of questions in there. If you guys could answer those, that would be huge for the live stream, and then we'll go ahead and dive right in. All right, so far we have one response, which is for modeling, but if you guys want to go ahead and show us some other things that you want to check out, please fill out the form. There you go. All right, cool. All right, so go ahead and check out that form real quick. We're watching our responses come in as we sit here. So far, we only have one response, but we're looking for more. I'm assuming you guys are filling that out right now. We really appreciate it because, again, it'll allow us to create some really cool stuff with you guys. And I do want to go over a couple of things that we made yesterday on our live stream. There were some really fun things. A lot of it, the things that people requested was like some modeling stuff like this. Like we were modeling this, what is this thing called? This bobcat. Yeah, this was a fun one. We went over this and like how we modeled all this stuff. So pretty darn fun. But again, we want to kind of get into like, what is it that you guys really want to see? Please go ahead and respond to that Google form if you don't mind. That way we can really see what you want. There we go. All right, so far we have some really awesome stuff. Let's see, there's some people that want to see. So right now it's a cross between shader nodes and modeling. So if you guys want to vote on that, that way I'll be able to decide what it is that we're going to check out here. All right, so far so good. Hello. There's a Google form. There's a little link above if you guys can check that out. So far we have 4 responses here. Awesome. Yep, it looks like we have, okay, so far modeling is the top voted for thing. We have about 4 responses, looking for a few more, and then we'll get started on something here. Let's see, oh, you know what else we modeled yesterday? We modeled this PlayStation. That was a fun one. This was the PS, was this the PS1? I think it was, but this was a fun one too. But I do want to see, okay, so far we have 1 vote for shader nodes. We have 3 votes for modeling. Let's refresh and see if anybody else has voted. Sir, how many to give object colors, texture painting, UV unwrapping? How many what? Oh, how to give an object color like texture painting? I don't usually do like UV stuff, but we can explore that a little bit. We have 1 vote for geometry nodes, we have 3 votes for modeling, and 1 for shader. So it looks like we might be doing some modeling, which is awesome. Yeah, put Elon Musk's face at the top. Oh my gosh. I want to master Blender in 1 year. Bro, you can definitely master Blender. You can master Blender in like a month if you want to. I mean, it really depends on like what it is that you're like trying to do. Because like right now, obviously, like we're just looking at modeling. Like this isn't anything like too crazy, but it is fun. I think I love modeling because like it allows me to like really think in the 3rd dimension more. All right. And put Elon Musk's face at the top. Yo, I cannot, bro. I cannot. All right, let's see. We have 5 responses so far. All right, it looks like modeling is taking the cake. Now we do have some actual, let's see, modeling and geometry nodes. Ark of the Covenant model. What's Ark of the Covenant? Let me see. Is that sounds like something religious. Oh my God, bro. That thing's crazy. Wow, that is an intense request. BMW M4. Oh, that's a cool car. Whoa, that's nuts. That would be tough to model. Wow. That is a really cool car though, nonetheless. Wow, that would be an interesting one to try out. What's cool about Blender is like I want to show you guys something really cool real quick. Check this out. If we save this image, I just want to show you. I don't know if this will work because this is it actually is a side view. Is there another one? Oh, here we go. I just want to take this one too. All right, I want to show you something really cool. This is not necessarily like a modeling tutorial right here, but I'll just show you something cool you can do with like geometry nodes that's like somewhat modeling related. So I'll just pop open a new geometry nodes tab here. Just bring this down here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a grid. You guys probably know where I'm going with this. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I'm going to plug a grid in here. Now, a grid is basically just a flat plane with as many like subdivisions as you want. So I'll do 100 and 100. But what's really cool is you can take this and you can separate the geometry here. And what you can do is you can actually separate the geometry with an image. So check this out. I can like tie this into an image, right? And I can be like, and that's the UV of the grid. And then I can go to my downloads and I can find that image right there. And I can say, you know what, I want you to separate just the outline, right, of the BMW, for example. Now, the reason it's not perfect right now is because we don't know the like exact dimensions. Let's just assume it's like that. So now this is not how you would go about modeling, but now that we have this like outline of the BMW, what we can do is we can actually plug in a color ramp here too. And we can kind of like refine like the edges. So look at this, you guys watching this? So like what we can do is we can also bump this up to like a higher value of like maybe 200. Check this out. And now we have this like, sort of like this outline, if you will, of the BMW. I'll just go ahead and flip it up, right, so I can show you what I mean. So now we have this outline of the BMW based on the image, right? This is just an idea that I had this idea the other day where you can like upload an image. It'll kind of like turn it into a 3D model, if you will. But what's really cool about this is then you can take this and you can extrude it, or you can turn it into curves. So I could go in here and I could be like mesh to curve, right? Check this out. Now, right now, the whole thing's a curve, which is great. But what if I only wanted the edge, is edge boundary? Yeah. So we want the edge boundary, which is like the external boundary of the edge. Now look at what we have. Ooh, interesting. Let me save this real quick because it's pretty cool. And we've done stuff like this before, right? So now we have this image, right? There's an image of the BMW, and now we can take any image and do this. But if we want it to be even higher quality, you do 400, right? Now we have this kind of like outline of the BMW, but here it gets cooler, right? So now what we can do is we can smooth this out. So we can say smooth geometry. We can kind of smooth that out a little bit, and then we come back here and we like refine, right, the detail level. So this is kind of like the details, if you will. You can go like that. And now you have this like really solid outline of your car, and then you can take this and you can like manipulate it. Or if you want, you can even just apply a curve. We could be like curve to mesh. Just an example, right? And then you can just take, I don't know, curve line, for example. And then we'll get out of this. So now what you want to do is you want to reduce this a little bit, and you actually want it to be this or this way. Yeah, there we go. So now what you can do, so you can go like this, okay? And you can just have this kind of like outline of the car, and this could help you with modeling, right? So now we have this kind of like really, really rough outline of the car that could potentially help you with modeling. It's just an idea, right? You don't have to do this, but it could be kind of useful. And obviously, yes, you can use this for a logo. So like if I wanted to plop a logo in here, I could use the WordPress logo, and look, now I have a 3D logo, and I can refine it as much as I need to. Now, the real use for this would be a logo, probably, more than likely. You can see right now, if this was a square logo, it would look perfect, but you wouldn't normally convert this to a curve with an edge boundary. Normally, what you do is you do something like this, and then you'd extrude the mesh. And the mesh would extrude. Oh, you need to do this. You need to do like this. Yeah, and then you do this. There you go. And now what we have is we have the Pinterest logo. So now you have this logo generator that takes like an image and it just it extrudes it, right? So pretty cool stuff. Yeah. All right, let me take a look at these comments because I clearly got to catch up on these. Large Hadron Collider. The Large Hadron Collider is crazy, bro. Modeling is probably the best for live stream. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that too. Do you think 3D is too old to start learning? I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's tough because you don't really know where this AI stuff is going, but I still enjoy it. So I can't really comment on that because I just don't know what the future holds. Now, I'm curious. We could try to bevel this, but it's a dangerous game. And obviously, this is like super, super high density. So maybe I'll do like 100 here. But then before we extrude it, we will do smooth geometry. Give it a little bit of smoothing there, right? And then the reason it kind of, you can see like right now, it's still the Pinterest logo, but because we smooth it so much, yeah, we kind of lose some of the detail. But now we have this kind of like smoother geometry kind of thing going on here. And you can also like remesh this too with a volume to mesh and then mesh to volume, this, that, right? So you want to know where all the Blender artists learn new techniques like geometry nodes. I know you guys hate when I shout this stuff out, but now you're making me do it. I got to shout it out. And this is where I learned too. So one of the ways I learned was just like YouTube tutorials. But if you genuinely want to learn Blender, not just for me on the live streams, and I love doing this stuff, this is where you do it right here. I'm just going to go ahead and pop this link in the chat. I know you guys have seen the link before, but again, I'm promoting this because I'm part of it, right? So I teach the physics side. I don't even teach geometry nodes. This is just me having fun in Blender. But if you genuinely want to learn geometry nodes the correct way, not just from me, the link that I just sent, that's where you want to learn it, because the guy that's teaching that course is by far one of the best educators in Blender that I've ever gotten the chance to get to know, and he's a great guy. So check that out. Again, a little bit of product placement here, but kind of got to do it because this is something we're promoting that we're actively doing. So, all right, let's see. He learns them from me. Sam, you blocked me on Instagram. Did you want to... You never got back to me about our conversation. I didn't learn anything from you. You're going to attack me on a live stream. Oh boy, here we go. Kenny will recreate the thumbnail face. There you go. Sam, if you're going to comment on my live stream, you might as well get back to me on Instagram. That's hysterical. Message retracted. Oh boy, it sounds like we're sending some stuff that might not be appropriate for a live stream here. All right, let's see. Sir, I want to know where the Blender artists learn new techniques for geometry nodes, the core fundamentals of Blender. How can we bevel this? Okay, so if you want to bevel this, there is a new bevel node, but it's probably going to get a little messed up because of the externals here, so I'll show you. Model yourself and animate it to fart. Okay, that's not appropriate. We're not going to do that. All right, so if you wanted to bevel this, you could just do a mesh bevel, but I can't say that it's going to work. And the reason why is because you're going to have to select those specific edges. Maybe you create a cape that moves on its own, including the new cloth dynamics, use geometry nodes. Yep, I will. So let's go ahead and check that out. All right, here's what we're going to do. I'll go ahead and create a new geometry node setup here, brand new. Here we go. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and use a cloth dynamics. Now, to use cloth dynamics, we're going to use a grid first. All right, and I have a whole tutorial on my personal channel if you guys want to learn more about this. I like to drive things with a value node because we can easily control them. So let's just say you're doing this for maybe a client project or something like that. So right now we have our wireframe enabled so you can see what the grid is doing. So we can turn this grid into a cloth. So let me just show you how this works first. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and add a cloth dynamics. Now what happens if I press play, this is going to fall down, which is good. That means the cloth is enabled, but we don't have anything with the cloth to interact with. So let me show you something. UV sphere, we'll add a UV sphere, we'll bring it below. So everything just looks like this. Now the UV sphere needs its own setup too. We'll add a collider. In order to make our cloth collide, because right now if we press play it won't, we need to make sure that the cloth dynamics is looking for the correct collection. So I'll click on that. Now when we press play, now look, we have a cloth simulation right away. Now what's really awesome about this is we can change all this dynamically, and this is one of the parts of my new add-on that I created that a lot of people aren't doing, and that is real cloth physics. So mine uses real cloth physics, not just displacement and things like that. So this is legit cloth physics built into Blender, completely procedurally with geometry nodes. All right. I can't get over that comment. Yeah, so just another thing, just so you guys know, because I have to state this now, publicly for some reason. Everything that I create is completely from scratch. my own ideas that I'm using. So I just wanted to put that out there so that no one gets confused here. All right, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go back. Now, in order to actually make this work the way that we want to, someone said, how can we make like a cape? I'm gonna show you how we would do that. Now, there's something called a pin group in geometry nodes, and what a pin group does is it pins parts of the geometry down. So this is like a selection. So we need to make a selection from an index. Index is like, if we go back here, an index is like this. If we look into like our edit mode, we would have something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, right? 5, 6. Basically, each one of these has its own index to the vertice. So what we would do is like compare this. We would say compare, right? And if the index is equal to like 0 or 1, we could pin that specific one. So as you can see, nothing happens. But if we go back and we pin it to, let's do just like less than 100. There we go. Now you can kind of see it working. If we pin everything less than 100, oh God, I was looking at the wrong side. That's why it wasn't working. Now anything less than 100, I think, did we have 100? Oh my God, we did exactly 100, so it's a perfect line across. Now it's gonna pin the first 100 vertices, and they can't move. Like, they won't move at all because we pinned them in static space. So now they're pinned, and then the cloth is going to drape over our sphere like this, right? So they're all pinned, and now that's the pin group. So now you're saying, okay, so like how do we create a cloth like cape? Well, the way that you would want to do a cloth cape is you would need a force field. Now let me just show you like how this works without our collider. If we delete our collider, okay, I'm also gonna erase everything. So if we delete our collider and we press play, we just have our cloth, right? And it looks kind of weird, right? And one of the reasons it looks weird is because, well, one, it's not shaded smooth, and two, we're gonna have to adjust some of the cloth settings. One of the things we can do though, which is really cool, is we can adjust the size of the cloth. So like a cape would probably be more like this, right? So we have our cape, right? It's a little bit of a better size now. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a force field. So right now, the quote unquote force field that we have is this right here. This is our gravity. So we can have it pull down further, we can have it shoot across, but what's really cool is we can make our own custom effector. And our custom effector is going to be a custom force. A custom force is basically just a force field. So what I'll do is I'll take that force, plug it in here. All right. And now nothing happens. And that's because we haven't done anything. Well, let me first of all turn off gravity. And now we have our own gravity here. So if I press play, nothing's going to happen because there's no forces at all. But if I add 3 to this Y value and I press play, now you'll notice, oh, wait a second. It's kind of like blowing in the wind. It's kind of going that way. If I add 3 in this direction, now it's blowing a little bit of both, right? And if I just switch it to X, now it's going to be going that way. But here's where things get interesting. And this is something that was something that I experimented with quite often. If we plug a noise texture into the force and we press play, oh, wait a second here. Now we have like this force field that's kind of like going in a certain direction, but it gets even cooler because we can combine X, Y, and Z. So if I only want the force field to like travel in like a couple directions here, let's go ahead and watch this play. Now it's traveling in a couple directions, but it's not really doing much. So let's scale it up. Let's vector scale, and let's do it by like 10. Now we have something interesting, right? Maybe I want it affecting the X and the Z. Whoa, now I have something interesting here, right? Now it's kind of like blowing it in a specific direction. And you can also uncheck normalize, which will help a little bit. There we go. So now we get a little bit more of a better effect here. Right now we kind of have this like sort of like this cloth like blowing in the winds type of deal, and then you can just adjust the intensity and the actual noise texture itself. So if you want the noise texture to be a little bit of a larger scale, you know, you put it at 1. Now it's looking something like this. You can raise your scale up. Now we have complete control over like the actual like fabric of the cloth. The only thing I will tell you though is there's one issue with cloth that has not been solved yet, at least not even with Blender. Like Blender's organization hasn't even solved it. You'll notice that there's some clipping. So see how this cloth is cutting through the other part of the cloth? That right there is not okay. There's no self-collisions. So you have to be aware of that. Now, does it look cool? Yeah, it looks awesome, but you're not getting self-collisions. So just keep that in mind, right? Now, let me just see something. I want to see what it looks like with everything. Yeah, there we go. So again, our pin group is up here. If we want it to be a little more stable, you can do something like this. Everything less than 400 is going to be clipped. Now you'll notice, right? Right here, we have a lot more that's being, or sorry, pinned, I meant. These like first couple of rows here, you could even do like 700. These first couple of rows, they can be pinned, right? Which is super awesome. So now we have this pin group that is sitting there. We have our noise texture, right? And then we can adjust the different attributes right here of the noise texture. See what just X and Y looks like. I almost think Y and Z look good. Yeah, Y and Z looks pretty good. And obviously, the more intense you have it, theoretically, the better it's going to be, except for, not really. You can also scale it to just 2. Have something really, really subtle like this. That gives you like a rough idea of like where to start and kind of how that works, though. Okay, let me check out the comments here. Oh my gosh, I got a lot to catch up on here. Can we bevel it directly? Kind of. Let's see. Modeling a human character like a cartoon. Okay. Can we do from physics tab and then we could do geometry nodes? Yes, you can. You can do regular physics first and then pop it into geometry nodes. That will work too. But why would you do that when you have so much more control procedurally over this? Because you guys want to see something really cool? I'll show you something really, really cool. Right now, we are pinning everything based on an index. But what if we could say, you know what? I want to pin this based on the time of the simulation, which is our frame. We can use math, too, to speed this up. I'll just speed this up and multiply it. Now, right now, if we plug this in here, I just want you to watch what happens. Anybody see what's happening there? Yeah. So, well, we have to multiply by value. So what's going to happen is it's slowly going to pin. I don't know if you guys can see this. It's slowly going to pin and increase the amount of vertices that are being pinned. Does everyone see how these vertices are traveling up? Right? They're going up, 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 up. Now, if we multiply this by 10, now what's going to happen is it's going to speed up the process of pinning. Notice how you can kind of see it right here happening. Notice how they're getting pinned. Does everybody see that? Better way to show you is if I unplug the force field real quick, re-enable gravity. So watch, everything's going to fall. Notice how they're getting pinned over and over again. Now what we can do is we can say, you know what, I want it to be pinned faster. Look at this. See how it's slowly going to flatten that whole plane? We're now taking this pin group and we're basically like stitching these pins across over and over again to create this effect, right? And this is part of the reason why like my new add-on works so well is because it's pinning a logo into fabric, right? So like, I guess I'll have to show you now because we did this on the other live stream, but I guess I'll just show you. Basically, imagine your pin group is driven from an image. Can everyone imagine this? Instead of pinning it with an indice, which is what we're doing right now, an indice, an index, and a scene time, what you could do is add an image texture. And this is what I did in my add-on, and I live streamed this whole process, so it's not like it's not public information. This is I think the Slipknot logo, but let's just see if this one works. We need the alpha, but we need to drive it from. We need to drive the UV into the vector, I believe. Yeah, let's try that. Oh, and this is going to need to be a square image to work better. Okay, so it's kind of hard to tell, but it is working. So now the image is actually driving the pin group. But let me give you a better logo to test. Let's do the WordPress one. There we go. So this is where the real magic comes into play, right? So now what we have is something really special here, and this is what my add-on is based around. So I'm sharing this publicly with you guys, so this is like your own knowledge, but basically it's taking the logo and we can now pin parts of the logo onto the fabric, which is really, really cool. But we don't just want the fabric to like fall on the logo. We want to actually like stitch the logo like into the fabric. So that's what my actual add-on is doing. But here's where the physics get more interesting, because now we can go here and we can say, you know what, I want 200 vertices. So I want it to be a lot more detailed. And you know what, I want the stretchiness to be a little higher. So we'll make that 0.1. Now it's going to stretch a little bit more. Maybe I want it to stretch a little bit more exaggerated. We'll make that 0.4. Oh, that's a little too much. Let's do 0.2. So now you can see, oh, okay, we're getting something interesting here, right? Maybe we don't want the gravity to be as great. We'll do -2 for the gravity, right? So now we have something that looks kind of like this, right? But you know what? Maybe we want our force field back. Maybe we don't want gravity at all. Let's see what it looks like with a force field. Ooh, now we're starting to get something interesting. But you know what? Force field's a little too strong. Let's dumb it down. Now we're getting something really interesting, right? And now we have this like logo that's like stitched into our cloth, which is like super, super awesome, right? Where is I can't, I'm sorry, I have to check something real quick if you guys don't mind. All right, let me just see something real quick. Keep dropping those comments in though. Keep dropping those comments in. Yo, where is he? Because now I want to talk to him because he wants to call me out in a live stream. Where's he at? Sam, are you still on the live stream, my friend? If you are, please do me a favor, be professional about this and message me back on Instagram if you're going to try to call me out on a live stream. Because I'll address it. I will address it. Call me out. I would love for you to call me out. And you know what? Do it on Instagram, because I wanted to have a conversation with you, but you didn't want to have that conversation. So if you're going to call me out publicly on a live stream in front of everybody, then do me a favor and message me privately so that we can have that discussion. Because I am here to talk. You guys know me, like, I am an open book. Like, I will talk about it. If there's an issue, like if you guys have an issue with me personally, I'm willing to talk about that publicly. Like, I will talk to you about it. I'm here to have a constructive conversation and improve the Blender community. That's my goal. And if I can make some money along the way, I will do that too, which is what I am doing. All right, let's see. In the core course, do you also teach linear algebra and the math needed to understand geometry nodes, or is that expected to be prior knowledge? That's a great question. I don't know, but that is a really good question. Oh, I gotta see. Hold on a second. I don't know the answer to that. All right. I was wondering if you offer regional pricing or discounts for individuals, developing nations. The course cost represents nearly a quarter of monthly salary in our region. Yep, and I got that. Obviously, like there's different levels of earnings in different countries for like different salaries, and there's different economic statuses, things like that. I can't answer any pricing information, but if you do have a direct question, you know what? Give me 1 second, because I'm going to make sure I get that over to the proper person so that they can answer that question for you, okay? Hold on. Okay, so the first question was, do they teach linear algebra? Let me copy that. Copy. Oh, it's not letting me copy. Why is it not letting me copy the text? There it is. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for your great comments. These are fantastic. Perfect. Okay. Thank you guys. All right. Let me get back to the comments here. Self-collision isn't working because it has no thickness. No, that's not how it works. There is just no self-collisions in geometry nodes right now. Obviously, with regular, yes, there is. Hey, bro, do you have a beginner course? I want to start with Blender before December. Yes, the core fundamentals of Blender, we have that. This is the one from last year. We're coming out with a new one this year. But if you guys want to take last year's course, you're more than welcome to, especially if you already have a CG Cookie subscription. You can check that out. Someone said, how dare you? Someone said, how dare you? Why are you saying, how dare you? How dare me or how dare someone else? Oh man, this looks so good. I'm so happy about this. Let me show you the actual thing though, because now I'm excited to show you guys. So the actual one that I made is this. This one, let me just show you I'll just show you the node setup so you can understand. Like, I've been working really hard on this. So here's my node setup. I was working, again, I've been working for the past probably a couple weeks on this. Now this one is a similar process. Like, it takes the geometry and it stitches it in here, right? So use the snipping tool and just send all the comments at once. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's actually a good idea. No, that's a good idea. How dare he? Oh, how dare he? Yeah, I know. It's crazy because, like, and I've been called out before. Look, no one's perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but if you're gonna call me out and then just leave, at least have the guts to talk to me. You can talk to me on the live stream. I'll address anything. I don't care. I'll address it all. But at least talk to me first rather than just like not communicate, you know? I'm all about like communication is key. So if you're gonna call someone out on a live stream, communicate to me. Let's talk about it. Like, I will sit down, I will talk to him. I'm not an aggressive person. Like, I'm here to have fun, and I think that's what we're all here to do. All right, here's what this, I want to show you guys what my add-on does, just because we're talking about cloth physics, and this is like a little bit of a deep dive. So if you want to stick here with me, I'll show you the innards of this, the inner workings of this. So right now, you basically just, you take any image. I like using ones that have like a decent amount of detail. I'll do the Ford logo because I think this one is like a great representation of like what it should look like. So I'm going to move this logo up a little bit. I'll do 20, that's fine. So I'm going to center the logo. Perfect, this is where I want it. And now all I have to do is go to my physics tab. Right now that my logo is sitting on the surface, we have it placed where we want it. Now my add-on, if I click bake, is going to completely stitch this into the surface using physics. Key thing is physics here, okay? So this is different than other embroidery things that you might have seen. There's a few of them out there. There's ones where you can like stitch things onto like shoes and such, but this is different because this is actually using real physics to pin the logo to the cloth. So what I'm about to show you is the reason this is like slightly different than the other ones that you may have seen. What graphics card do you prefer for such simulation? I have the 3070, but I also have a laptop with a 5090. In my opinion, the 5090 is obviously like going to be ideal every single time. How would this look on leather? I think it would look really, really good. Really, really good. All right, simulation's about to be complete. Once it's complete, we're going to take a look at the simulation. It's going to play at a slower frame rate because right now the mesh density is extremely high. I'll show you the wireframe and then we'll play it out. So this is a wireframe, right? We have a really, really dense mesh here. You can see just it's like extremely dense. I'm going to hide our image, our preview image, because we don't need that anymore. And let's go ahead and play this back. Now remember, this is playing in, this is about 3 frames a second. So you can see there's some turbulence on the cloth, right? Let me back this up a little bit. So there's some turbulence on the cloth, but in a moment here, you're going to see the logo start to get stitched in. Here it is, right? See the logo getting stitched in? So it's getting stitched in. And what's really cool about this effect, if you look, you can see the instances kind of growing as the logo gets stitched in, which is really cool. And this is just going to look incredible. And I have a rendered out version of this that I'm going to play for you guys. But let me just show you what this looks like. This is what it looks like. Here we go. So I'll play the rendered out version. I have a rendered out version, but I do want to show you what that looks like. Here we go. Ready? Where is it? I think it's right here. I thought it was right here. Is this it? I think this is it. Why is it not showing? Ah, there it is. So this is ultimately like what the add-on does. Okay. Wait, I am lost how he does it. I'll show you. So how can I make welding spark animation? We can do that next. So basically what it does is it takes a logo and it stitches it onto a surface like this. I don't know how the live stream is this behind, bro. How is the live stream this behind? This is crazy. So when I see your comments, I might be seeing them like 20, 30 seconds in the future, so just keep that in mind. But this is basically what it does. If you guys are interested in checking this out, I do have it live. I'll just go ahead and quickly shout that out real quick. What did I call it? I think I called it Stitch Craft, I think is what it was. Yeah, here it is. Stitch Craft, this is it. It's live. You can check it out. And I'm going to show you the nodes too. So this isn't me selling you a product. This is me showing you the nodes. I'll literally show you the nodes right now. If you want to recreate this, go for it. So, and this is complex, but we can go over it if you guys want to, and then we'll do the welding sparks. So basically, you're going to laugh, but you see all these nodes right here? Believe it or not, all of these nodes are responsible for fixing the image size. So if you have an image that's wider than it is tall, you have to go through some conditional statements to say, okay, this is wider than it is tall, feed that into something else. But if it's a square, do something different with it. If it's tall, do something completely different with it, right? So now you know just this is just handling the image and it feeds it into something else. So that's that alone, right? Now, you take that image and what do you do with it? Well, you have to feed it into this right here. What this does is it allows you to place the image. You then can rotate the image. okay, with vector rotate. Then you can take the image texture, again, conditional statements here. You take the image texture, you drive it through a color ramp, and then you basically can cut out the background, all that good stuff with it too. And then you switch it on or off depending on what type of image it is. Then this right here is what actually stitches the logo in. But wait, it gets more fun. There's two different types of reveals for the logo, so you can choose between those two different types of reveals. There's 3 different reveal speeds, how fast the logo gets stitched on. This is a menu switch, super, super powerful in geometry nodes. But wait, it gets better. There's also different sizes, presets for the logo, which are sitting right here. You can see the node group right here. It then takes that, resizes the logo based on what the user switches to. Now, hold up. That was just handling the image. Where's the next part? Oh, here we go. So then what we do is we place threads. This places threads anywhere we want it to. It's like a reusable node group. I know it's a pain to see, but I've live streamed all of this on my personal channel if you want to go through the entire process. And then we have instancing. We're instancing those things. We're rotating them randomly. And then we're translating and scaling them based on the position of a hidden proximity object. We're doing that with both the outline and the inside. We're then taking those things, separating them out, smoothing them. This is smoothing the external border. We're separating them out based on the edge boundary right here. We talked about edge boundary earlier, right? So this actually should really be right here. I probably organize this a little bit better. And then, yeah, there's a reveal type from bottom to top and left to right. Those are the 2 reveal types. And then we are changing the appearance and allowing the user to customize the appearance of the threads. And then after that, we do the same exact thing with the infill and the outfill. I'm just kind of running you guys through this real quick. This generates fuzz on the surface based on instances. And then finally, we join it all back together. We shade everything smooth. And the user can basically decide what to do from there. Oh, and this is the proximity object right here that drives the effect. This is the logo visualizer that allows you to place the logo before you stitch it onto the surface. Imagine a LeBron James 76ers announcement jersey with this animation. Ooh, that would be kind of cool. LeBron, wait, let me see something. 76. Oh, you know what? Let's try the 76ers logo. 76ers logo. If we can get the 76ers logo with like a PNG, but actually I have a way to cut it out. By the way, we're not sponsored by this by any means. This is just me having fun here. Just wanted to shout that out real quick. Oh, that's not a bad image. Let me get, oh, here we go. All right, so we have our Philadelphia 76ers, but let me see if I can get a different one. I'm looking for one. It's got a nice cutout. Actually, this will work. Check this out. You guys ready for this? I don't think you're ready. We're going to save this image. But oh no, Kenny, the background's not cut out. What the heck are we going to do? Don't worry. I actually developed a solution in Blender just for this moment. I'm going to save my file. I'm going to go back to my background remover. Yes, this is a custom background remover that I made in the compositor. I'm just going to load up my 76ers logo, which is right here. And it's already cut out. You know why? Because I have my remove white selected. Now, this is before any filters. I can just go ahead and remove the white, and this is good to go. Now, yes, there's a small area that's not removed, but we can customize it from there. When we're ready to go, we click render, and guess what? We have a transparent version of our logo that I developed. By the way, I developed this all in Blender, so it's completely free. I'll try to post it online at some point for you guys, but for now, I'm going to do cut out logo. We'll save that. We'll go back into our other file, Threadcraft, and then we're gonna now place this logo. We'll go all the way back. We'll delete the original bake. Okay, we'll turn our overlays back on so we can see what the heck we're doing. Now we'll click on Preview Image. Now I need to load up my 76ers image that I just cut out, right? Which is right here. Wait for it to plop in there. We're gonna reset the position. Now it's a little small on here, so I'll make it extra large. Perfect. I'll reset the position yet again. Perfect. It doesn't have to be perfectly centered. So now that it's sitting, you know what? Let's make it giant, if you will. And you know what? Let's do this. Let's do 0.1 and 0.1. -1 and -1. I'm just placing it as best in the center as I can. Perfect. All right, that looks good. Let's go ahead. Let's click bake. Now, there's a couple other cool components about this that I want to show you guys. We can actually use the custom logo colors of our logo. Yes, You heard it here first. This actually took a little while to figure out how to do. You would think you just like apply a material, but it's not quite that simple. But I figured out a way to do it, and it does work. I just want to say thank you for this live stream. Oh, bro, you're so welcome. Make a low poly glass cup that has glass shading for the 2016 official laptop to render. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, wait, there was a couple things you guys had suggested. I am so sorry, guys. What was the first one? Welding Sparks low poly glass cup for 2016 laptop? Oh, you're saying something that's just low poly that can be handled. I got you. And then what was the other one? Okay, good. All right, so here, let's check this out. This is almost done. I can cancel it here because I know it's going to look good. Right here, we'll go ahead and delete the preview image. And guess what? Look at that. Our stitches are on there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's check it out. So it has not inherited the logo colors because I haven't selected that. So if I wanted to inherit the logo colors, I'll just switch that over to logo colors. We'll go ahead and make the fabric have 0 saturation. I think I'm going to go for like a white fabric because I feel like this logo looks really good on white. And there is our logo. Now, if we don't want the outline, we can also switch the outline off. I actually think it looks pretty good with the outline. And then for the outline color, I think I'll choose like a nice deep blue. Maybe actually, you know what? Let's try red. Let's try red. Ooh, that's not really the color I was looking for. Let's try this color. That looks a little bit better. But you can customize it, or you can just make it pure white. In fact, let's just try it and see what it looks like. So we have our pure white. That actually looks really good. And then I'll just enable my fuzz. And for the fuzz color, I'll do white. And we're good to go. And again, all of this is completely procedural in geometry nodes. You can see as we like zoom in, like you can see like the true detail. What's really cool about this though, again, is that like you can completely customize this. Like right now, go back, it's still being stitched in here. You can see like this is the logo being stitched in. And it looks pretty decent. Like, I mean, you can get some like nice close-up shots, especially with depth of field. Like right now, our depth of field isn't that intense. But if we do like 0.1, look at that. Now we have this really nice depth. Again, depth of field, super, super powerful in Blender. Like the things that you can do with it are just incredible. And here you go. This is what it looks like. Looks pretty good. Now, obviously, you know, as you continue and the logo gets stitched on, you don't want it to be so intense that you can't see the logo. So you can dumb it back down, or you can do something like this. But it looks, overall, it looks pretty good, and I'm pretty happy with it. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next suggestion. And then I want to also check the Google form. Oh, wow, there's quite a few suggestions on there. Yeah, the threads look good. All right, so let's go ahead and add a cube in. I always start with a cube. How to make a doorknob or a cupboard knob. Doorknob would just be a cylinder based. It was baked for a few minutes. It was just baked. It probably took, yeah, a couple minutes or maybe a minute. It does depend on your PC, obviously. But what I do want to say is it is time to do welding sparks first. Welding sparks should be relatively simple. I think for welding sparks, we're going to need a welding surface, okay? I'll just make like a quick welder out of a cylinder. All right, let's just pretend this is like our welder. So this is like, I don't know, the welding surface right here. And like sparks will come flying out of here. We'll weld something across. So let me just like animate this on a path real quick so we can see what this is going to look like. So I'll add in a curved circle. We'll just go ahead and get this to follow the curved circle. We'll go to our constraints. We'll do a follow path constraint. We'll do this guy. Now, if we click animate path, look, now we have our cylinder following that path. And I'll just do 40 frames, right? So we have this, right? Cool. Now what we can do is, well, at least what I'm thinking is we can have this kind of like draw something on the surface, right? You can kind of like reveal something, if you will. There's a lot we can do here. We can do geometry nodes. We can do we can do a lot. So like, let me just show you what we can do with this curve. Check this out. Curve to mesh. Curve circle. Check this out. You ready for this? This is going to be really cool. What we can do is we can trim this curve and we can decide where it starts and ends. Oh, wait. Oh, we have to do trim curve here. My fault. We can trim this curve right here. We can decide where it starts and where it stops. So I'm also going to rotate this on the Z. Actually, oh, we have to decide where this starts and stops. Offset. let's have it start right here. Okay, so now what we can do is this. See how this follows, right? We'll have it start at 0, and it'll go around to 40. So at 0, there will be no curve. We'll insert a keyframe here. We'll go here, and we'll just follow this along, and we'll insert a keyframe. So now we have something that looks like this, right? So now we have like our fake weld, if you will. Now, obviously, this is really basic, right? But this is kind of giving you like the rough idea of like how you would maybe do this. You'd have to time it pretty darn perfectly, but you get the rough idea. Now, how do you do the sparks? Well, we need a particle emitter. So let's add a particle emitter. We don't want it to emit from all this stuff. We want it to emit from a specific thing. We want it to emit, why can't I? Oh, I think you have to go to, where is it? Vertex groups, yep. So the density, we want it to be on a specific vertex group. How do we do that? Let me just hide this real quick. I'm going to select the bottom for the vertex group because that's where I want the sparks to fly out of. So I'm going to go to my vertex groups. I'm going to go ahead and tab into edit mode. I'm just going to select this bottom face. I'm going to make this assigned to that vertex group. We'll go ahead and turn on our particle emitter again. I'll go back to my particle settings. For the density, I want it to only be that specific vertex group. And then I want it to emit from the vertices. Now look, we only have the particles flying out from that specific area. So there's our sparks, but they're kind of falling down. They're not bouncing off of anything. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click on my surface and add a collision. So they should start bouncing off of the surface. Perfect. They also need to be a little smaller. So let's go ahead and go to our render. We'll go ahead and scale them down a little bit. Or not render, I'm sorry, viewport display. We'll scale them down a bit. Go back. So now we have our particles right here. You guys see the particles, right? They're kind of bouncing off, but we kind of want them to like fly out, right? So we're going to give them some velocity, and we're going to give them some random velocity, right? So now they're kind of flying all over the darn place, but this is good. This is what we want, right? Let's go ahead and scale these up. So now we're going to get something that looks like this, right? Here's your sparks, but they're still like a little bit scattered. So let's reduce the randomness to 2. Now there's your like kind of like sparks, but we really want them to kind of like fly out and just kind of like delete themselves. And I think I also want them to be probably made of something different. So let's add a plane. Let's bring it up, scale it down. And I think I'm just going to kind of make this like really, really thin like that. Now what we'll do is for our particle emitter, instead of displaying it as rendered, we'll display it, where is it? Oh, I'm sorry. We'll display it as an object. This will be the object. And then we'll give this a random scale. And for the rotation, we'll also give it random rotation as well. Randomize the rotation. Now if we go back, we're going to get something that looks like this. Kind of looks silly, right? But you're kind of getting like closer to that like result that you're looking for, right? And then we kind of want the velocity to be a little higher. So I'm going to do 4 for the normal velocity. Now it's a little higher. We want more too. In fact, we want probably like 5,000, right? Kind of getting like these welding sparks. Starting to kind of get somewhere. You kind of like get the rough idea. I do think they need to be slightly less random. So let's try this. Yep, that's starting to look pretty good. And then for the lifetime, maybe like less, maybe like 20. Actually, maybe even like 5. Let me see what that looks like. Yeah, it looks a little bit better, maybe 10. So now you can start to see like we're kind of like customizing like the way this would look. But remember, like a big part of Blender, and I talk about this all the time, is experimenting, right? Like this is looking okay, right? But like, there's so much more that we can do with this. Let me show you what else we can do. Because right now we're just kind of messing around with the particles. But here's what's really cool. We can go into geometry nodes. We can take this curve, and you know what? It wouldn't be a full circle, right? It'd be kind of more like a half a circle. Well, first of all, let's set the position up. Let's bring it down a little bit on the Y. So it'd be kind of more like this, right? Okay. Our stick, or our like, I guess, welding stick, whatever the heck, will be more like this, right? So now you have this, right? Okay, starting to look like something, right? Kind of like welding something together. But there's like so much more we can do here. Like there's so much more. This is like a really, really dumbed down version, right? But like you can see like, okay, we're having like this welding like effect, right? What I'm imagining now, because I've welded before. I have used a welder and I know what it looks like. We could make this look like beads. Check this out. We'll join the geometry together just to test this, but you could basically say mesh to points. Actually, you might not even need to do that. You can just do instance on points. And then for the instance object, I'm just going to do a UV sphere just to make it simple. Okay, we'll go ahead and reduce the radius by a lot. I'll show you what I mean. There we go. So what you can do now is you can reduce the radius. Instead of the instance on points being like every single point, I actually might be able to just do this. Yeah, there we go. So now what we'll do is we will how do you do it? Resample. Oh, resample curve. That's what we wanted to do. Yeah. So now what we can do is adjust the count, right? Now we have this like we can make these like fake beads. Now this is where it gets like really cool because now you can do like transform geometry. You can scale these down a little bit, right? Like this. Maybe give them like some slight offset. We want it to be offset this way. So now you have like this. You can have like this like fake bead, right? Because I think I haven't welded in a really long time, but if I remember correctly, go ahead and translate these down. If I remember correctly, switch this off with the geometry node switch. It's going to look kind of like this, right? Now, there's only one issue. The curve is getting resampled based on the trimming. So what we might be able to do instead is not feed off the trim, but rather we want to feed the original curve. Let's see if that works. Yes, perfect. Now what we can do is we can resample it however we want. We can get this like faked kind of like effect. There's only one thing though. We still need to trim the curve. So I think if I do this, will this work? Yeah, it will. We need to set the endpoints the same. So I'll go ahead and do this. I'll just drive a value here and here. And now we can decide like how it works. So we can go back. We'll keyframe it at this. Move forward. Where was it? There it is. Keyframing here. So now both values are being driven. Now what we have is we have like a welding, if you will. I know it's not like exact welding, but you get the idea. So it's welding. You can get really, really crazy with this. This is all just geometry nodes, but you get the basic idea. Like you're trimming a curve, you're adding down this like bead of weldness. I don't even know. Now it can get even crazier because this is just a sphere. But if you want to, you can set the position of this. Okay. And then you can give it some displacement with a noise texture plugged into combine XYZ. We'll do like this. Although there's only one thing. You know what? I might want to do this before. We'll dissolve this guy. Let's try this. There we go. It's a little bit better. You don't want it to be so far over that it loses everything. We'll distort it a little bit. See, like now you can like give this some like distortion, right? So now you can make it look a little bit better. And then obviously like this is offset, so you would need to adjust for that. So you would probably need to, I don't know, bring it back over here. There you go. Now we have something that looks, oh, I didn't save this yet. Oh, I actually like this one. Welding. So now here's what's even crazier. You can feed into this a logo. So you could have a logo welded onto a surface and then boom, you got another add-on, right? Just saying. Now, obviously, you know, you want to take this and you want to, you probably want to adjust some of these settings, but this is like basically how we'll go about doing this. All right, you just entered the vibe. I'll tell you, and you'll make it. United by Blender. Where's Andrew Price when you need to make a donut? Oh my gosh. Is that form still available from earlier? I don't see it in the chat anymore. You can just drop the comment in the chat. This is way back when, yeah. How to angle them based on the velocity direction. Oh, are you talking about the particles? He does it for a living, so the setup will be fancy. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. You were good. You were good at welding. This is what it looked like. Yeah, it does. I mean, I feel like it looks like welding. Obviously, I feel like actually from a top-down view, it doesn't look that bad. Honestly, it's not that bad. Actually, I kind of like pretty proud of this. This is kind of like a cool one. And it's crazy like how quickly you can put things together, right? I want to try to sculpt something. Maybe a shirt. There's a bunch of tutorials about it, but I'm not sure. Most people are struggling with that thing somehow. Yeah, we can try that. I don't really do like clothing stuff, but we can try it. This was a good one. That was a good request. Let me just look at our request real quick. Welding sparks, we got that. Oh, let's do the really quick, do the low poly cup. All you want to do is add a cylinder in, delete that top face, give this a solidify, give it a little bit of thickness here, right? And that's really it. There's your low poly cup. Now, obviously, you can scale the bottom in. That, in my opinion, low poly cup. Is that what you were looking for? I hope so. And if you want to add a little bit more, you can give it a real slight bevel, right? Boom. Now you have your low poly cup. If you want to give it a little concave, you can just go down here. You can inset that, bring it up a little bit. Boom. Now you have this like low poly cup, right? I mean, this is really, really basic, based on a cylinder. Now you can make it even more low poly by reducing the cylinder segments on the sides. But in my opinion, this is your low poly cup. Easy. Boom. Next request. I'm not going to save this one because that's an easy one. Oh, doorknob. Yeah, we can do a doorknob next. Again, we'll probably start with the cylinder. I'll just go ahead and rotate this like this. Now for a doorknob, I have one right behind me. Look at that one. Yeah, probably do the exact same thing. Actually, you can get a doorknob profile. So I'll just do doorknob profile. Oh, perfect. This is exactly what we wanted. So I'm just going to use, I mean, you can use any of these. It really just depends on like the type of doorknob. But I would just take a cylinder and I would just scale it until you get like the profile that you're looking for. I feel like for this one though, this is like your standard doorknob. You could probably, you could do something. My doorknob doesn't look anything like that though. Whatever, it's fine. We'll just save this image real quick. Just go ahead and plop that in. Now for this guy though, obviously you're going to want to go ahead and flip this around. Okay. Right. So what I would do, at least this is me personally, I would take this, right? I would basically just scale this down. Scale it, kind of try to match, like, generally speaking, you're trying to just match the profile, right? So there you go. There's that small part there, right? So you have that small part. And then what I would do, and this is kind of like key here, you need to be like really precise about how you do this. You need to take this, you need to extrude it just a little bit. Okay, one more time. And then this is when you want to scale. So now you want to scale this out, right? Because this is really, 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 really flat here. So this is the start of this, right? And then again, extrude, scale it up. We're just getting the really, really rough profile here. Extrude, scale, extrude, scale. Now, we'll apply a subdiv to this, but I want to show you guys some stuff here too. So if I do a subdivision right now, it looks decent on this side, but notice how we're getting like some weird results here. We want to make sure we add an edge split before the subdiv, like this. And then what you want to do, wait, why are we getting a weird result here? Actually, ignore my last thing. You actually want to inset this top face. There we go. Now it's a little bit better. And same here. You want to inset this just a little bit. In fact, we got to extrude this anyway because there's more coming on this side. We want to scale this out, move it back. We actually want to take this entire area, move it back like this. We want to then take this edge loop here. We want to extrude, scale, extrude, scale, extrude, scale. Again, I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over again. And there is your door handle. Boom, that's it. Now, obviously at the top, you're going to have to kind of refine this part a little bit. Getting some weird stuff going on here. Hold on. Yeah, that looks pretty decent. You got to be careful though, because sometimes you can get some really weird results if your like topology is looking weird. This is like not terrible. And then in the back, to avoid this like weird pinching, you can just inset that a little bit. Shade auto smooth. This looks pretty good. Now, if you need like a heavy crease somewhere, like we kind of need like more of a crease here, you can select this outline and you can increase the crease of it to give yourself a little bit more of a crease, but you got to be careful because sometimes you get like a weird result. So just be like really careful. But generally speaking, that's how I would do it. And then you can add a little environment texture in, and you can add like a small, You can add a metallic shader if you'd like to. Just go new material. We'll do metallic. Low roughness. High anisotropy value. It looks a little bit more gray. Gives you a rough idea of like how you might go about doing it. I got to go to the bathroom real quick, guys. Give me like 2 minutes here, and then we'll come back. I'll write down your suggestions though before I leave, and then when I come back, if you have even more, we'll go over those too. What is this witchcraft? It's just witchcraft, bro. Blah, 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 blah. Want to try to sculpt something? Sure. Oh wait, right. Sculpt. Oh my god. We can even try to add cloth dynamics and animate the shirt. Something I've been trying to make is ice melting into water, okay? We can do that. Ice melting into water. Chocolate cream covering a biscuit. Did I spell biscuit right? I don't know. Chocolate cream. Grid fill. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. I was like, what am I doing wrong here? It was grid fill. Thank you. That was exactly what I knew. I knew I was doing something wrong. Good idea. Mythical shard blade. Oh, right. Mythical shard. Oh, I'm sorry. You did say this the other day and we didn't do it. I apologize for that. What about the Google form? All right. I'll post the Google form real quick. Hold on. Share the Google form. Copy responder link. Here we go. While I'm gone, if you guys want to fill that out, I'll write anything else down that you guys have from there. In fact, oh, there are 8 responses. Oh, there's a lot of stuff on here. Let's see. Bro, what the heck? We already did that. We didn't do that. So let me add this. Sorry, I said I was going to go to the bathroom, but just need a second. Barrel Shadow Cable, Ark of the Covenant model. Oh, drone suitcase is crazy. All right, I'll be right back. For right now, keep coming with those responses. It looks like we're seeing a few responses coming in right now. Give me 2 minutes to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And then when we come back, we will continue. Thank you guys so much for your patience. Oh boy, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing? Let's see who's still hanging around. All right, we got a decent chunk of people still hanging around. All right, oh, we have more responses. Awesome. Okay, here we go. And now I have a cheese stick, so I apologize, but I'm going to be eating this cheese stick for just a second. If it bothers you, you can leave. All right, here we go. Let's see. High poly laptop destroyer PS5? What? All right, hold on. Lego minifigure, high poly laptop destroyer. is crazy. All right. I'm not going to save this because I can make this pretty easily. So I'm going to go ahead and delete. All right. So for a shirt, I'm going to need a, this will be an interesting one. I haven't done a shirt before. So I don't really know how to even start this, to be honest with you guys, but I have some ideas. So what I'm going to do is I am going to, first of all, plop that into the chat for people who really want to learn modeling. But what I will tell you is I'm going to do a shirt on Google, and we're going to go ahead and grab a shirt that we can model. I feel like this is a good one. Yeah, let's do, that works. All right, let's do this one. It's fine. All right, perfect. All right. So for a shirt, here's what I'm thinking. We'll also kind of scale it down a little bit here. All right. Let's. I want to kind of talk through the process, and then we'll go about it. Bro, I do got storage full of cheese sticks. I'm sorry, guys. I hope you don't mind me eating on the live stream, but I was a little bit hungry. So one thing, I'm a teacher full time, but talking is really tiring, and it makes me hungry. I'm thinking about how to model this. Okay, I have some ideas. Oh, in geometry nodes. Oh wow. Okay. All right. All right. Let me hold on. There we go. Okay. So now that we're zoomed in properly, I think the way I would start this, honestly, is with a plane. I know it sounds crazy, but I think I'm gonna do like a little bit of a mirror modifier action. So I'm gonna add a loop cut in the center. I'm gonna delete these other two vertices. There we go. And then I'm gonna add a mirror. We don't need any of that crap. And then I think what I'm gonna do is probably, well, first of all, let me move my face over here a little bit. So you guys probably don't care about my face much. So, all right, I'm gonna scale everything down. I want it to be flipped because I want to model it from, I guess we'll model it from the bottom up. It's fine. That's fine. All right, I mean, I think I'm just gonna kind of follow the profile to the best of my abilities. Yep. I'm going to do EZ, which is extrude. And then I'm going to do it one more time, which is going to be, what is that, Shift R? Oh my gosh, bro, what is happening? There we go, Shift R to repeat. I'm just going to move these into place. Now let me think about this, because when it comes up, so it comes up and then it comes out. I'm tempted to say, you know what? Let's keep going with this process a couple times. I just want to move these pieces out. I have like a rough idea of like what I want to do. It starts to become a problem like up here, because it's like, okay, now this thing's gonna kind of like wrap around. So it starts to become like a weird thing, right? Where would I be after taking the 5.2 course on SuperHive? You know a lot about Blender. A lot more than I know. Well, I do know a lot, but I can promise you, I'm not just trying to sell you something, but I can promise you, if you genuinely want to learn from people who have been around it way longer than me, although I teach the physics part of it, you're going to learn more than you've ever even realized is in Blender, especially with geometry nodes, which is like one of the most powerful features in Blender right now. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, Kenny, you're just trying to sell me something. Well, yeah, of course I'm trying to sell you something, bro. It's part of my business. But besides just that, if you genuinely want to learn Blender, this is the way to do it. I'm not just saying that. Like, I've taken, when we did the core course last year, all the stuff that I learned that I'm teaching you now, I learned from core. And I'll tell you what, I thought I knew Blender, and then I took that course, and I'll tell you what, I didn't know crap. You learn so much from different artists, and it's not just about the core content itself. It's also about, like, a lot of it is about learning from people that are not you or not me. Like, you need a different perspective as an artist, right? All right, so this is starting to look good for like the profile, and then I think for the sleeve, it's weird because the sleeve, it's tough to tell in this picture, but it only comes out from like this general section here, and then it kind of folds down. I almost want to say like it comes out like right here. So like you could take, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you could start like extruding down, I guess. Just going to be like careful because to be honest, this part makes me a little bit nervous just because I know that it's not going to look exactly like this, right? Like this obviously looks horrible. Excuse me. Tempted to say like you want to do this, and obviously like eventually you're going to do like a subdiv, right? So you're going to naturally want to do a subdiv. This is like the general like process I would go about making a shirt. I'll be honest, I don't know because like I don't really do this often. Just call it shirt. Sorry, I wanted to check the comments real quick. Sign up for the 1-year thing on CG Cookie. Be able to stop coping and actually start doing something by myself. Yeah, well, that's the, well, it's not, I mean, you can still copy other people if you want to, just to practice, but like don't copy and then sell their work. You know what I mean? It's like, when you make a new object, there's already one. I don't know why I can't really edit the old object. Oh, because, are you doing Shift D or Alt D? Because depending on how you duplicate, that's going to impact it, right? You tried the doorknob and it worked perfect. Awesome. Happy to hear that. Yeah, I mean, guys, look, I'm going to shout out my own course, obviously, especially for physics, but I cannot express to you how much we cover. I mean, I'm going to go over it just real quick. 11 courses, guys. 11. These are all of them. Mesh modeling, digital sculpting, lighting, materials, texturing, which are 2 different things. Animation, rigging, physics by yours truly, compositing, grease pencil, and geometry nodes. By the way, if I had to pick just one, I would pick geometry nodes just because I love it so much. But guys, I don't think you understand like how much content you're getting for $150. I don't think you truly understand it. But you know, I'm a little biased because I helped make it, but it is pretty awesome. All right, let's get back into it. So we have our shirt, and now it's time to kind of make it like, I guess, 3D, if you will. So we'll just add the solidify modifier, and we'll call it a day. Wrong. So I think what we need to do, I'm tempted to say let's add another mirror modifier, and let's add it right after this one, but this time we're going to mirror it on the Y. So let me tab into edit mode. Let me select everything. Let me move this out. So now we kind of have like these 2 layers, right? And in order to see this maybe a little bit better, damn, it's really hard to see this. It's kind of hard to see. I wish, there you go. You can kind of see it a little bit better now. We have to like now connect these. So this is going to be interesting. I think this will probably arguably be the hardest part. The way I kind of see it is we're going to have to select like the general outline, which are these pieces right here. Why is this so darn close? Oh, I see. We gotta, bro, what? Oh, I did not realize. What happened here, bro? What? Oh, okay, there we go. All right, I didn't realize that. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So now if I extrude these, boom, they go out here, right? But I kind of want to extrude them on the Y, right? Extrude them one more time on the Y. And then I kind of want to bring them out like this. I'm trying to think this through in a way that actually makes sense. I really should have grabbed these bottom ones too. So let me go back. I need all of the outline. I don't know why I didn't just grab the whole outline. 2, 3, 4, 5. Scale it a little bit, okay. EY, scale it a little bit. And now you kind of have like sort of like a shirt. Now I know it looks kind of silly, but I do think if you applied physics to this, it would look correct. Also, you're obviously going to have a hole right here, so you have to delete some of this stuff, but you get the basic idea. And then I think you're going to want to do some clipping here. Going to have to watch these middle seams. We'll do some smoothing. I know this looks stupid, but this is how I would go about doing it. And then you could obviously cut the holes for the arms, and then maybe apply some cloth physics to it. This is a tough one because it, like, if we're modeling this exact shirt the way it is, we would have to probably go into sculpting mode. But we're not going to do that because I'd probably just do a cloth dynamics or something like that with it. Just a thought. Just a thought. I mean, I made the door with the cube, and then I made the doorknob separately, but now I can't edit the door itself. I'm just able to edit the knob. That's weird. I'd have to look at the file. Forgot everything after a week. I feel overwhelmed. Oh no! Did I do the donut tutorial? No, I never did it actually, believe it or not. Timu shirt. Ah, that's funny. Translucent jelly cake shader. Oh my god. Hold on. All right, so what I'll do is I'll get rid of this because we sculpted a shirt. I'll just save that. I want to try this ice melting thing because I've been thinking about this, and now I'm like, how would we make an ice cube melt? I have some ideas. Now it's like, do you want it to be like hyper realistic, or is it going to be like whoever asked that, do you want it to be like hyper realistic, or do you want it to be something where it's like kind of like just animated and that's that? It depends what the use is for. Because if you want it to be like real ice, you could probably use geometry nodes and some real physics. But if you want it to be like just kind of like a faked effect, we could probably do that with just like some simple deform and things like that. You remember a lot of basics after Blender, yup, and you just look up whatever you have trouble with to retain that information for the future. That's absolutely true. I hate that I need to copy if I want to make things myself. Well, you don't always have to copy. I mean, you can what I suggest doing is you take an object in your room, for example, this mouse, right? And you try to model it, right? Just try to model it. That's technically not copying, it's just practicing, right? I mean, yes, the object already exists, it's already been designed, so it's like kind of copying, but that's how people get better, and then you come up with your own ideas, right? A lot of people just tell you to practice, but I think it depends on how you practice. Yeah, of course, you know, and I practice every day. That's me personally, right? When did I start Blender? About 5 years ago. Insane. This guy is doing improv with Blender. Thank you so much. I really genuinely appreciate that. If you're asking me if I started 3 months ago, do I have a Discord channel? I don't personally have a Discord channel, but CG Cookie does, yes. You're trying to make it hyper realistic? Oh wow, okay. All right, let's do this. Let's try it out. Let's look up ice melting. And we're going to get a lot of sad stuff about the polar bears and this and that. But, okay, let me do this. All right, this is a cool one. Let's check this out. Actually, I like this one. I like this one. Okay, so let's break this down, and then we'll try it out, okay? So let's model an ice cube first. Now, when ice melts, it usually contacts the surface, and then it melts at that surface because the surface is pulling heat, or it's pulling, it's giving, I'm sorry, thermodynamics allows the ice to release its structure into a liquid form. So it probably will melt from the top down, but the outside of it will slowly shrink too, right? So it's kind of like a weird thing that's happening. But I'm tempted to say I think we can like make this happen. It's just a matter of like how. Okay, so let's drag our reference image in here just so we can get a good idea of like what we're going for. I always love a good reference image. It's not copying, right? You're trying to replicate something, which is actually like a form of respect, right? You respect that this naturally happens in the real world. So now you want to recreate it so you can understand how it works and you can like reverse engineer this process. Now an ice cube, well, I think we could start with a cube. There's a lot of interesting things that we can do with this right now. Right now, if I take my cube into edit mode, I can bevel the sides and give it a little bit of like roundness, if you will, like this. And then I'm going to subdivide it, give it a little bit more. I'm going to shade it smooth. Now we have our ice cube, but I want to add some displacement to make it like a little bit more realistic. So we'll add a displace modifier. I'll go ahead and I think I'll click on like maybe clouds for this one. Now before we displace this has a really weird like density to the mesh. Like if we look at this in edit mode again, there's like areas that are large, there's areas that are small. So before we do anything else, I'm going to remesh this into a smooth form with maybe like 6 for our octree depth. Then I'll move my displacement under that. I'll displace it, and now we have a better displacement. And then you can adjust your scale of your displacement, right? You can decide like how much you want to displace this. And now you have this sort of more like organic ice cube, if you will, and you can obviously dumb down the strength. So if you want like a slightly imperfect like ice cube, this is generally speaking how I would go about it. Now here's what's really cool. You can now tab into edit mode and duplicate this, and both ice cubes are actually different because our displacement is based around our local coordinates, and so they can change. Here's what's really cool. If you want to change these even more, you can add a plane axis right here, and you can base your coordinates of your displacement off of an object, which would be the empty. So now when I move this empty around, can you guys see this? When you move this empty around, we change the displacement of the cubes. So we can create cubes that change over time, or we can just kind of customize them however we like. Now these look pretty good. I would say, let me just save this real quick as ice cubes. Not to be confused with the wrapper, of course. What I would do is I would probably even raise this depth up one more. I would shade them smooth. Now notice how they're not shading smooth. You need to check smooth shading in the remesh modifier. All right, these are looking pretty decent. Let's make them look like ice cubes, and then we'll make them melt. We'll go to cycles with our GPU enabled. I'll go ahead and I'll find an environment texture that matches this. I think I'm going to go with a sky texture because I actually think we can make this look pretty similar to like what we're seeing right now. So here's like a really nice sky texture. I'm going to add a plane underneath of this for our surface. Kind of move this up here. I'm going to hide our empty. I'm going to go to my side view. I'm going to make our plane go right underneath of these ice cubes, right about there. They're not going to sit perfect, but that's okay. I'm going to give this floor a new shader, and I think I'm going to do a glass with 0 roughness, so we have a really nice reflection, just like we have in the image up here, right? And now we have this really, really nice reflection. Now, I do think that our environment isn't really looking the way I want it to, but let's get some glass on these as well, because water has an IOR of 1.3. I don't know if, I'm not 100% sure if ice has the same IOR. I guess it does because it's like the same material, but it's like not, but it is. So now we have these like really nice reflections going here. This is awesome. And now I think it's time to get our environment looking better so we can kind of match the image to like the best of our abilities. But before we do that, let me go ahead and move this ice cube back. I'll just try my best to like recreate this image however I can. Okay, so we have our 2 ice cubes. Let's point our camera at them. Okay, here's our camera. It looks like our camera is kind of like a little bit like this, right? Maybe like down like this. This plane is going to be scaled out a lot. Camera gets pointed down a little bit more, slightly wider angle. There's a little bit of depth of field going on here too. Like if you really look, I'm looking at our image. I'm trying to figure out what it's going to look like. You know what I'll do? I don't normally do this, but I'll do it for this example here. We'll go into shading here, and I'm going to change my bottom left to the image editor, and I'm just going to load up our image real quick so we have our reference down here, and then we can zoom in up here and like really figure things out, right? Because I want it to look like as close as possible, but yeah. Wait, what did you say? Make a window with transparent glass. Ah, that could be cool too. We can definitely do that. You know what? Let's go with this one. Yeah, I like this one better. This one's much better. All right, and then what we'll do is I'm going to show you guys a cool trick. We can go into the world color here, which is our environment texture, and this is our background strength. I think I'll bump it up to 1.5, and then I can also adjust the hue and saturation of the background. So I can be like, you want it more saturated and more blue? We can do that, right? And we can also adjust the hue. In order to like really see this, I'm going to go to my camera, my viewport distance. There we go. All right, this is starting to look cool. Another thing that I'm going to do is I am going to add probably like a light. It looks like there's a big light source behind this, but check this out. I want to show you guys something really cool. We can add some mapping to this. This is to our, we're still in our shader setup, but this is our world settings here. And I can actually change the angle of the lighting. Check this out. All we have to do is adjust our HDRI's rotation. Now look, we can completely change the angle of that. And I still don't quite like this, so let's do 0.55. It's a little bit too blue, 0.51. It's a little closer to like what I wanted. Or we could do like I don't know, 4.8. That's a little closer to like the blue that I was like looking for, right? A little bit better at least. I mean, obviously you can go crazy and try to like match this exactly, but I'm pretty happy with our ice cubes. I actually do think they could probably use a little bit of a different displacement. Like, it's tough because you don't want to go too overboard with it, and then they start looking like fake. Now, another thing you'll notice, there's actually bubbles trapped inside our ice cube. We can also add those in too with geometry nodes if we really want to. But again, I'm going crazy here, so like, I don't know. Anyway, what were we originally going to do? Oh yeah, we were going to make them melt, right? So in order to make them melt, and this is just an idea, you don't have to do this. I'm going to add a cube underneath of them. Okay, like right about here where the surface would be, right here. And what I'll do, well, I'm basically going to bring them down and they're going to melt slowly into the floor, but I kind of want them to like be cut off by the cube. Does that kind of make sense? So I want to bring the cube up just a little bit more. I want to make it like right about here. So the idea is that we'll cut a boolean into these, but this will be before the remesh. So, and I think it'll make it look smoother if we do that. So right now, if we hide this, they're getting cut right here. They're getting just clean cut. But if we move our boolean before the remesh, now they're getting cut in a different way. So, and I think this will be better. So I'm going to insert a keyframe for their location. I'm going to move forward to frame like 24. I'm going to move them down. Insert another keyframe. Let's play it back. I just want to see what this is going to look like. So now we have our ice cubes moving down. There's only one thing I'd like to change. I think I want to move my empty with that too, so that it kind of displaces them over time. So let's go back to the start. I'll just insert a keyframe for my empty. I'll go to 24, move this down a little bit like that, insert a keyframe. Now we have the displacement moving too. Well, I don't think the displacement's moving quite enough, so I'll move it down more. Now we have this effect where our ice cubes are moving down, but I think there's more we can do. I think we can make our ice cubes shrink in size because they wouldn't just maintain their size, right? They probably shrink in size as well. And I think in order to do that, we can add a smooth modifier. And the more we repeat this, the smaller the ice cubes get, as you can see. So let's do this. Let's do, oopsies. Let's do a factor of 1. We'll move up here, and we'll do a factor of 50. Now we have something that looks like this, right? They're getting smoother over time, which is great. And I think we could also potentially, let's see if we can do this. I just want to see if this changes them a lot. No, it doesn't. Let me just see how the displacement would work over time. Now, we don't want that. Oh, mid-level. We can shrink them down even more with the mid-level. So let's start with our mid-level at, I don't know, 0.12, like this. Actually, we'll start a little higher right here. And this is our displacement modifier. I'm going to now raise this up to about here. I don't want that weird flattening thing to happen. So now we have this, right? So now they're shrinking over time. They're changing with time, right? And they're kind of like, well, quote unquote, melting. And this looks really good, but there's obviously something missing. We need the actual water on the surface. So let's think about how we can like create that. I have a couple of ideas on like how we might be able to go about doing that. This is probably arguably going to be the toughest part. Also, we need to make sure that our surface, which is our plane, is up here. Ooh, this is a tough one because we got to make sure. I'm hoping that when we add in our like puddle that it fixes things. I also kind of want to enable my depth of field right now. I'll enable it in the camera view as well. I'm going to dumb it down like crazy, and then I'm going to kind of adjust my focal distance until these are in focus. Perfect. And then, okay, so let me think about our puddle. So our puddle would emanate from both of these over time. I think we can do this with geometry nodes. I think we might be able to achieve this with geometry nodes, but I'm a little nervous about it. Also, I do think that these ice cubes were shot in a studio background, and the reason why is because if you look at the lighting, there's like a harsh, there was a harsh black part on the left here. So I'm going to do this. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm just going to add a plane off to the left here where you can't really see it. Now here's our plane, but I'm going to make it a negative reflector. So instead of reflecting light, it's going to absorb light. And now, let me just make this a little bigger. Now notice how our ice cubes look completely different. You really, really scale this thing out. Needs to be this way. There we go. All right, notice how our ice cubes look a little bit different. Here's without, here's with. And you can see like there's a little more like detail within the ice cube itself. Anyway, that's just like a little trick, but it's kind of like a fun one because you can bring that as close as you can to the camera, and then you have like different like refractions in here. Remesh allows us to get our displacement proper. Sorry, I didn't answer that question earlier. Remesh allows us to displace this in the proper way. All right, let's go to geometry. Excuse me, geometry notes. Jesus. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a cube. We're going to go to a new setup. We'll add in a grid. Oops. Just a regular grid. There we go. I'll add in a grid. Okay. I'm going to kind of move this up a little bit. Now, I want my grid to expand over time. So I'm just going to show you what that's going to look like. We'll just add our frame time into our size. Just want to show you. So now watch what happens. Moves over time, right? Which is what the puddle should do. It should move over time like this, right? Just go ahead and enable this random colors. Does this make sense? So the puddle moves over time. Now this is too fast, so I'm going to add a math node in here, and I'm going to make it multiply by like half of the value. So now it slowly expands over time, right? So then when this is down here as a puddle, it'll slowly expand over time on each one of these. But I want our grid to happen on both of these cubes, okay? But before we do anything else, I think I want to do a subdivision surface on this because I want it to be like a little bit more circular, something like that. So it's going to look like this. Right now we have this like expansive thing happening like underneath of our cube. And so how many requests you have, but I'm interested in seeing you attempt to model the real world studio big room, kind of like a complex room shape, and I'm struggling to do it myself. Real world studio big. Okay. All right, so now for our ice cube, I'm just thinking, let me think this through for a second. Okay. Okay, so I think now that we have this, I think we can subdivide it. But this is not going to be subdivision surface. This is just going to be like regular subdivision. So now we have a lot of like mesh here. And then I think that we can take this and it's going to be like, you know, extrude mesh. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, we're going to extrude it a little bit to make like a puddle, right? All right. And then I think I'm going to smooth the geometry. I just want to see what this looks like. I really don't know if this is going to look good at all. Okay, yeah. And I didn't think it would look good. And the reason why is because like we're smoothing everything, which is great. But when we're extruding the mesh, we're extruding them individually. I just want to extrude the whole thing. That looks better because we were extruding each individual face, which is not what we want. This looks a little bit better. All right, let's see what this looks like. I just want to see if we apply our material. I'm just curious what this is going to look like. What's the material called? Material 002. Okay. So this is what it looks like so far. I just want to see too. I want to see in the shading. Yeah, okay, so it has like a little bit, it's interesting. If you look at the edge, it has like a nice highlight to it. All right. So there's a couple of things we're going to need to do here. One of the things we're going to need to do is add displacement to the water to make it look more realistic. And then we need it to happen on both ice cubes. So this is kind of like the dangerous part of it because, oh, this is tough. How would I go about doing this? Oof. I guess you could just duplicate the whole setup. Also, it really should expand like randomly, you know, if that makes sense. Like kind of just not like in a big circle. I don't want to go too far into this because I want to be able to do the other requests, but this is an interesting one. Oh, another thing I should probably mention. The reason it's not looking like water is because there's no bottom to it, because we're just extruding it. We need to rejoin it with its other part. So when we're subdividing it and then we're extruding it, we're not capturing that original part, if that makes sense. We're like not capturing the original faces. So we can rejoin it, and now look, the bottom is right here. There's only one thing. When you smooth the geometry, right? Oopsies. You can see when you smooth it and when you don't smooth it. Let me redo this. it kind of detaches itself because it's not like a seamless thing. You might have to do merge by distance. Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, that helps a little bit. Now you have this more like this thing that's a little bit better. Do this. This is where it gets crazy because now you can do like mesh to volume and volume to mesh, and it gets crazy fast. But you get the rough idea. This is generally how I would go about doing this. This should look a little bit more like water now, maybe not. I don't want to go too crazy into this because it's gonna. I know I can tell this is one of the ones that might frustrate me just a little bit. So we're not gonna go too crazy here. I'm like pretty happy with like the overall result. I like the concept. I don't want to go like too crazy here. Anyway, I hope that's enough just for the person that requested it. All right, we're going to go ahead and start a new file, and I want to see what the next request is. Oh my God, a BMW. All right, here, I'm gonna organize these real quick. This is modeling. This is simulations. Okay, Ark of the Covenant model is a model. Lego minifigure, these are models. This is a shader. These are all modeling. That's crazy. Why do people love modeling so much? I didn't realize how much people were going to request modeling. You have to go. No worries. Thank you so much for joining in. Scorpion King? Is that what it says? Is that what that says? Scorpion King or Mad Max. Let me also save this as suggestions. July 30th. Is it July? June, July. Yeah. Okay. All right. Shader node functions. Shader node functions like Photoshop layers. Oh, that's interesting. That's a totally different thing. Drone suitcase? All right. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a little vote on what we do next because there's so many different requests. Boolean to make the ice cuts. Oh, that's a good idea. All right. We're going to do a little vote in the chat. You guys ready for this? A little poll, if you will. I'm going to say choose. You have to choose between modeling or simulations. And here, there's one more option, which is shading. And here we go. You guys can now vote. Voting is now open. Here we go. Oh, wow. Wow. Oh, window. Oh, I'm sorry. Was that? That would be shading technically. Was that with thin film? Is that what you wanted to check out? I also want to see what this is. Oh, and this is something somebody wanted modeled. This is pretty cool. We could, oh man, that's a crazy one. Try that out though at some point. All right, let's see what the results are saying. Wow, everybody wants modeling. That's crazy. All right, modeling, I guess, is going to take the cake. There's only 18 votes, and there's 52 people watching. Where's the rest of the votes? I bet some of you, if I had to guess, are watching, and your phone is on your countertop or a table, or maybe you're just listening. Maybe you just like the sound of my voice, or you like listening to Blender talk, which is, of course, always great. In order to simulate shade, we need a model. I know. You're right. That's true. Scorpion King, the Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh man, this is a tough one. All right, I think modeling takes the cake. We're gonna end the poll, and we're gonna do one last poll, and this one's gonna decide what it is that we model between the ones that I'm interested the most. So I'm gonna take a little bit of a bias here, and I'm gonna type in the models that I find the most interesting on here. I think Lego minifigure is going to take my first one that I'm interested the most in. And then I think, what was the other one? Mythical Shard Blade seems interesting. Ooh, the BMW is crazy, but we can try it. Crazy. Oh god, I'm kind of nervous. I'm actually kind of nervous for what you guys decide for this one. I'm a little nervous. Oh god, this is. I feel like this could make or break me right here as a Blender artist. No, bro, don't vote for the BMW. No, 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 no. Come on, let the Lego minifigure live. Please, no, not the BMW. Not the BMW. Yo, it's between. Oh my gosh, this is making me so nervous. Oh my god, bro, no. No. Oh no, bro. They're all voting for the BMW. Oh no. No, bro. It's either Lego minifigure, bro, or BMW. Yo. No, bro, you guys are destroying my life right now. Come on. No, bro. Oh my gosh. Okay. I guess we have to do the BMW. This sucks. I mean, this is great. This is great. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to model this BMW. You gotta do the Lego. Start with the easiest in the list. No, bro. High poly car modeling from start, setting up blueprint, and then textures and animation. It's hard to find one complete tutorial. I found a few, but I guess we'll have to try the car model. Oh my gosh, bro. Suitcase. The drone suitcase is in modeling. Yep, I got it. I got it. Did I put it in there? Hold on. Drone suitcase. I put it in there. Where is it? Where is it? Drone suitcase. Got it. Got it. And I got the image for it. All right. I guess, guys, you win. I have to do the BMW, bro. All right. All right, all right, all right. You cannot click and drag like that. You have to save it first, bro. What are you guys doing to me? Why do you want me to suffer? Comment if you really want me to suffer right now, because that's apparently what you guys want. All right, I just need to X out of everything else, clean up a few things up real quick. Oh my gosh, bro. I cannot believe you guys are convincing me to do this right now. This is crazy. This is a cool car, though. Is this the one, the M4? Or is it BMW M4 Adro? Or is it just BMW M4? Is this the correct car? I just made sure I have the right one. Is this it? Hold on. Bro, this thing's crazy, bro. This thing's... I'm not gonna lie. This thing's pretty sick looking, though. Just turn the PC off with your feet and don't act like you know. Yo. Okay. All right. Low poly BMW. No, bro. I know you guys want the BMW. I just got to find the correct blueprint for it now. Oh, this thing's pretty sweet, though. So, one thing I will tell you about blueprints. Thing's tough looking, though, isn't it? Why this car? Why'd you have to pick the most complex looking BMW, bro? Is this... some of these blueprints are not the same car, though. I wish they had, can I just get it on, let me see if they have the blueprint. Oh, maybe this guy has, I wonder if they have top-down view of this one. This is the actual 3D model. Oh, bro, look at this. I do side view. Is this completely textured, bro? Wow. Tell you what, you guys are giving me a run for my money with this car. I am angry. I'm angry and I'm not modeling it. Nah, it's not true. We do have to figure this out, though. All right, how about this? I'm just trying to think of... Oh, it's literally online. Oh, cool. Okay, so they have some good views of it here. Great. Oh, yay, I'm so glad I found the views of the car that I need. These are pictures, not blueprints, so they're going to be a little bit different. Whoa, what the heck? That thing is tough, though. I do seriously, though, need the blueprint, though, so I need your guys' help finding the correct car. I think this is... Where was it? Is this the correct one? I don't think it is. That's not it. That's not it either, bro. Can we just do regular blue BMW M4, or does it have to be the Adro? It does have to be the Adro, doesn't it? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I just need to find the blueprint for it. I need like really good like profile of this thing. Is there like a how much does this car cost? Hold on a second. What? Oh, this is wait a second. Oh, these are the bumpers. The bumper costs $3,000. That's crazy. If you got I'm not gonna skip this one, bro. I have to do this one. I have to. I really genuinely do need like angles of this thing. I don't think they're I feel like this is this like a body kit? Is that why you guys requested this? Try drawing, see if we can find a drawing of it. How to draw this exact specific car is crazy, bro. The original request was a BMW Transformer. What? No, that cannot be right, bro. I seriously can't find the blueprint for it, though. I do need the blueprint, or I can't model it properly. I mean, I can go off of what it looks like, but there's no shot that I'm gonna get it anywhere close. This kind of looks like it a little bit. Oh, where does this come from? Where's the technical blueprint on? Bro. Hold on a second. Oh, that's only the front view. It's only the front view. See, like, how are people getting this, bro? Hold on. If I can find the model, I'm not going to download the model. Relax, guys. But I do need to get, like, I mean, somehow I need to get an angle of this car. How are people getting this model, bro? Why can't I just see, like, a side view of this thing? Where is it? Model inspector. Oh, here we go. Can I do this? The basic M4? Chat GPT blueprint? That's not a terrible idea, but I don't think it's going to work. It costs call for inquiries. You voted for the Blade? All right, how about this? We'll do this. We'll do this. We'll do a BMW M4, and I'll just do the bluprint of the BMW M4, and I'll try my absolute best. Guys, I am not a genius at this stuff, but we will try. I feel like this actually does kind of look like the car. Wow. It is a complex car. It for sure is. The M4 Coupe, I'm a little nervous. I haven't modeled a car in such a long time. It's a beautiful looking car. See, and that, you know what's annoying? I love BMWs, they're cool, but it's annoying because it's so hard to find a model of like the actual like car. Like I don't like they're all like modded, which I get because it's cool to mod the M4, but God, it's a pain. Like this is a competition series, like bro, 2014. Oh, really? It doesn't match no matter what you do. That's a little bit annoying. Bro, I'm going to be looking at BMWs all day. All right, you know what? The people are waiting. The people are angry. They're getting hungry. All right, I guess we got to do this. I can't avoid this any longer. Oh, Lord. Lord, help me for what I'm about to do is going to be difficult. Oh, no, the image didn't download. I guess I can't model it. All right, so, oh, Lord, where do I even begin? Okay, so what I normally do... Wait, why is this rotated so weird? I want it rotated like this. Perfect. No, actually, that doesn't feel right, does it? It should be rotated like this. There we go. Okay, that looks good. All right, so now, first of all, if we want to get the real scale of the car, we can, but I don't think I'll do all that. I might just start with, like, modeling, like, certain pieces of the car. Like, I'll probably lay this down flat, you know, something like this. I'll bring this down. Bring it over here. My goal, so I've seen a few modeling tutorials of like how to model cars, but my goal is probably going to be like model the hood, then look at the side view. You know, like there's a whole like process to it. And to be honest, I'll be honest with you guys, kind of a pain, but I know this will be like worth it for you guys to at least watch. So I'll start with the modeling process. I'm just going to take a plane and I'll do a little subdivision guide here, delete the vertices. We'll do the whole, you know, mirror modifier process here. Now, remember, I am not an expert in this, so I'm just going to try my best, and we'll get as far as we can. And if we don't do well, then it is what it is. All right, tab into edit mode, scale everything down. Now I'm gonna start by like scaling this down. Okay, I'm gonna move it to the center here, and we're gonna kind of just model like the hood, right? Now there's a couple ways people do this. Like right now, I just have 2 vertices. If you can see this, I have 2 vertices, and I've seen a lot of people do it like this. They'll just kind of like go like this, like they'll just extrude, right? And they'll just keep extruding. I don't know if you guys can even see this or not. Let me turn this like opacity down even more. There we go. You can kind of probably see it a little bit better. And they'll just keep like extruding. Now, one thing to check though is you have to make sure, okay, like where does the hood start and stop? Because you have to be really careful that you don't accidentally model something that's not a part of the hood. And I think the hood starts and stops like right here. Okay. And now there's a lot of ways you can go from here. You can extrude it up like this and then just keep moving from there. But that's not necessarily the best way to do it. You don't have to start with a cube. So like I haven't done a lot of car modeling, but like this is generally speaking how I would go about it. From here, you're gonna laugh, but I would probably just extrude it like this once. I would probably shift R to do it one more time, and then I would stop right here because I don't want this part of it. This is gonna be a separate part that we're gonna model a little bit separately. Okay, battery sold separately. All right, here we go. I'm gonna go ahead. Bro, what the heck? I thought I had my loop tools enabled. Am I in edit mode? Yeah, what the heck? Loop. Bro, where's my loop tools? Loop tools, loop tools. Why is it not enabled, bro? What the heck? All right, anyway, here it is right here. Loop tools are great because you can like relax different edges. So if I click this, I can click relax and it'll space them out. If I click here, I can space or I can relax or both. And look, it's really nice and easy to do this. So now look how nice like the topology is. And everybody likes to say, I need nicer topology. Oh my gosh. Right? So that's how you do it. All right. Anyway, nonetheless, we'll go ahead and do the next part here. So now at this point, this piece needs to come up here and all these pieces here need to get aligned. So I'll do relax a little bit. Oops, not relax. I'm sorry. I think you can do G stretch. Yeah, G stretch is perfect. That's what we want. All right. And now we'll just rotate this a little bit. Now we're going to have some weird like parts here. Wait a second. Something got weird here with G stretch. G stretch did something weird with one of our pieces, so we got to be really careful. So I'm actually going to go back. I'm going to extrude this up. Okay. Wait, why are we getting a weird result over here? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Extrude. There we go. Now we're getting it. All right. So I'm just going to kind of slowly build this part of it, and we're going to kind of go from there. I will refine this in just a second. There we go. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll turn on my X-ray mode and I'll try my best to follow this corner and then we can relax it afterwards. In fact, let me just see something here. I'm trying to see where it ends. The hardest part is honestly seeing like where these certain parts end and where they start and where they stop. Even though we have like the, I guess, official like blueprint, if you will. I think the hood stops about here. Okay, I'll just go ahead and do this. Loop tools are great for this. So now we have something that looks like this, right? But now it's like, okay, now we have to match the side profile as well. There's a lot of different things we could do here. To be honest, modeling cars kind of a pain. Like I said, I'm being honest about it. I'm just trying to see the different areas that we need to focus on. All right, so now on this side, what I would probably do now, we can probably take some of these, straighten them out a little bit, right? And then again, matching these profiles here, we kind of want to draw a line where this certain part is happening over here. In fact, I might even delete some of this stuff and redo part of this. God, there's so many different ways you can go about doing this. I'm thinking it through too. Like, yeah, I'm thinking it through probably more than I need to. Yep. Okay, cool. Here, I'm going to reformat this a little bit. GG to slide is a really nice one. All right, that looks good. All right, so I'm happier with this. And now what I think I'll do is I think I'm going to actually do this a little differently. I'm going to try to make it like quote unquote lower poly, if you will, because then I can decide where these things are supposed to go. That looks better. These parts become like a pain up here, so just be careful with this. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then again, selecting this edge, we can click relax. Selecting this edge, we can click relax. But you don't want to relax it too much because then you lose the actual overall shape. Now, I think based on the image, which is, where the heck is the image? Based on the image of the hood, see, like, bro, why do all these cars look different than the one I have? Is this the 2014? Someone said this is 2014, correct? Okay, I just want to make sure because I'm trying to. Is it this one? Bro, which BMW is it? This BMW is going to drive me crazy. Someone said LOL. You guys are just laughing at me at this point. I'm trying to figure out like which one it is because I want to get a look at the hood and make sure I don't design the wrong darn thing here. Which one is it, bro? Bro, why do they all look different? We might have to do something different because this is, I don't have a clear like blueprint of this. I think it's this one. I don't know, bro. I'll tell you what. This is what we'll do. We'll just do our best. How about that? Oh, also, I probably should have mentioned this. There's going to be a subdiv on this eventually. Now, here's what I will tell you. Now that we have this, I think I know what this middle part looks like, but I'm not 100% sure. I think we can extrude this down like this, I think. And then I think we can extrude it in and scale it, move it like this. I'll be honest, I don't know if this is correct or not, but I think it is. I think this is like generally speaking like how it would work. There we go. So like I think it looks like this. I think. And then I think it comes back up in the middle. Correct me if I'm wrong. Am I wrong? I don't know if I'm wrong. Yep, and then it comes back in. And then I think you can extrude it again. Scale it on the X. Now, hold on. What did I just do? Extrude Z. Oh, I don't want... Bro, I extruded the wrong parts of this. I didn't want... Okay, I realize what I did wrong now. I didn't want these ones over here. Didn't need that, or this, or this, or this, or this, or this. No, I do need that. Extrude Z. Perfect. Extrude, scale it in, move it up. Perfect. We'll just bring these guys in a little bit more to match that profile. And then we'll select this, extrude it back up. Perfect. And we can come back and crease this stuff if we need to. And then we'll extrude and scale in. We'll move this in. And then we take this guy, move it out here. We can probably space these guys a little bit better. And then from here, I guess you could just extrude it in even more. Just see something here. Tempted to say you could probably get away with something like this. And then you probably just move these guys up until you get a nice little snapping effect here. Move this guy in. And I think that is like what the hood looks like, but this is obviously like way too intense. So you could come back here. You could take these two inner rows here. Doesn't want to let me select the edge loop. And then you could come up here and bring these up a little bit if it's less intense than that. I don't know. I feel like that would be kind of like what it looks like, but to be honest, I don't know 100%. I don't know. I've never seen... I know you guys really want to watch this, but I'll be honest, I don't know what this darn thing looks like because there's no really good reference images. But that's like generally speaking how I might go about it. And then I'll probably go from there and like curve it down. I guess we could just make this thing look however we want, but I don't want to like do it in the wrong way. Like, because the next part is, well, we take this edge here, we extrude it down a little bit, and then like extrude it on the X, but I don't know like what this next part looks like because I don't have a really good reference of it. I mean, you guys see what I'm saying? Like, I don't have like a good reference image of like what this is gonna look like. This is like how I would go about doing it though. And then if you want like a sharper crease in the center, you can take one of these edge loops like this one, and you can go to your item properties and you can crease it more. So if you want like a really, really sharp crease like that, like you can do that. But I don't think it looks like that. Like I think it gets pushed forward more. In fact, if anything, the sharper loop is going to be right here, and this is where you want your sharp crease. But I don't know, because I really haven't seen this car. But these are like the modeling techniques that I would use, and I would go about this, and to be honest, I'd build this entire thing out of a plane. That's probably what I would do. And then like the fun part is, okay, now we have everything, right? We move it up. Oh, wait a second. We need to use proportional editing, right? So this is the fun part. This is where you get to like be like, oh wait, like it actually looks like this, and the middle is concaved, and then this part gets pushed up. I'll be honest, it's a pain, but this is how like people would go about doing it. Now, if I wanted to, I guess I could turn on my proportional editing. I could just select like one of these and move it up, right? And be like, oh, like now that's like the general profile of the BMW like hood, right? And it gives you like an idea of like how to go about modeling it, but I don't want to spend too much time on this because I want to make sure that I get other people's suggestions. But that's like generally speaking like how I would approach it. Again, if you really want to learn modeling, I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again. You should absolutely look into. I know he's gonna say. I can't believe he's gonna say it again. I can't believe he's gonna post it in the chat again. But he's going to. You know why? Because I truly believe that if you really want to learn this stuff, boom. All right, recreation of Earth, no cutting corners. We'll go ahead and do that one next. Just kidding. But I will tell you guys that I am going to check this one off because I don't want to do this one anymore. All right, next up, we're going to do another vote. And while we vote, I'm going to go use the restroom yet again. Vote on what's next. And the options are Lego minifigure, drone suitcase, which is a harder one, and then we'll do shard blade. I just don't want to spend too much time on one thing. I want you guys to be able to get your submissions in, okay? While we wait for this, I'm going to go ahead and use the restroom. I'll be right back. Okay, let's see. Oh, wow. I'm actually surprised. Okay, so most people voted for shard blade. Okay. All right. What is it? We can knock out a mythical shard blade real quick. I don't think the shard blade will be as difficult as you guys think. I guess it depends which one. I think this one. Or which one is it? All right, this one, right? Bro, there's a lot of these ones. What the heck? Which one is it? The one that you wanted? This looks like... Oh, Stormlight Arc. Did we say which one it was? Mythical Shard Blade. I guess we never really said which one, right? Did we? The Aura one? Aura? This one? What the heck? Bro, what? Short Blade. It must be this. No, wait. Blue Aura? I'm getting different suggestions here. Which one is it? I want to make sure. Tell you what. Give me the exact thing to search for. And give me the exact thing to search for and I will find it. Or, can you paste a link in the chat? Because I got all types of search terms going on here. But I will design it. I will do it. No, I'm not doing Sharp Blade, bro. This one? I just want to clarify because there's a lot of ones that are popping up here. This seems to be the most common one. Excalibur, bro. Come on. Which one? Which one is it? My boy munching. Yeah, sorry guys, I was munching. I got a note. Oh. Bro. This is not even the same blade. This is what you want? Yo. Guys, stay focused on the mission here. What am I modeling? If you guys can't decide on a sword, then you have send the link. Send the link, bro. Oh, did you send the link or did it not go through? Did you send the link? Chat's a little bit delayed, or I'm a little bit delayed compared to the chat. So whatever you're hearing right now is live to me, but obviously it's gonna get to you guys later. So I'm trying my best to keep up with it. I just want to make sure I'm modeling the correct thing, whatever that thing is, you know? Or we can come back to it. You can send the link and I can do the Lego minifigure. It's always fun. I think that's what I'll do since I don't want to get the thing wrong. I also want to look up the patent, or not the patent, the blueprint. Make sure I'm doing the right thing. I don't anticipate this being incredibly difficult. Honestly, the arms are probably going to be the hardest part of this whole thing. Oh, look at that. They have the whole sketch. How cool is that? Oh, that's awesome. All right. Man, I wish I had a Lego minifigure in front of me because then I'll be able to do it. Okay. 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 Wow. How cool. All right. Let's see. I'm just thinking through, making sure we're going to get all this correct. Okay. I think I could probably do it based on this image. Or this one. Let's do this image. I just think this makes more sense to me. I know. Crazy, right? All right. Now, I'm going to show you guys something really cool. And we're going to do this. I promise we'll go back. Wait, this is an AI link, you said? Oh, you sent me the link. You sent me the link? What? right, we're off the knife. I'm doing this anyway. Here's what we're gonna do though. I'm gonna show you guys something cool. You're gonna hate me because I'm gonna use ChatGPT real quick, but I'm gonna get the exact dimensions of the Lego minifigure. Yo, chat. Hello. Convert Lego minifigure dimensions into Blender units. Yeah, we could do that. Yep, okay, I figured. All right, so here's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you guys why I'm doing all this, because it'll make sense in just a minute. We're going to add a cube in, okay? And we're going to take the dimensions that chat gave us real quick, and we're going to plug it into the dimensions right here, because we're going to scale this box down to the size of a Lego minifigure so that when we're modeling... It's not cheating. It's not cheating, bro. Don't get out of here. We're doing this just to get the scale real quick. And then once we have the scale, when we put our depth of field on the camera, we'll actually get the proper scale. We're going to model everything from scratch, so don't worry. All right, so the height, we're going to do this many Blender units. That's fine. For the height, that will be our Z axis. And then shoulder width, well, we don't want that. I just want the total. I want the total dimensions, bro. I just need X, Y, Z. Need X, Y, Z, bro. Don't make me do math. Thank you, bro. Perfect. 8 millimeters, 16 millimeters. What was the height? The height is 40. Good. So this is our Y depth. Perfect. That's all I need. And then we need this, which is going to be the next one. Perfect. So now the reason I'm doing this again, I'll show you. Scale all this down. So view, frame selected. Because look, this is, well, apparently the correct height. That looks... Does that look right? Yeah, I guess it does look right. All right, cool. I'll keep this up here. We'll do this. We'll do modeling workflow. And then down over... Actually, you know what? Up here, I don't normally do this, but I'm just going to do this for right now. I'll just do image editor. And I will open up this guy as our reference. Okay. I don't like, you know what's funny? It's like people are always like, oh, download this app or this thing or whatever. But like, I'm like, you know what? You don't really have to do that. You can actually just do it all in Blender. Okay, I guess that does look correct for the dimensions. It looks kind of correct. You know, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter that much. I know everybody's going to, I cannot believe you used AI, bro. You're fired. You're fired. I'm canceling you. Canceling you. All right, don't cancel me, bro. All right, let's save this as Lego minifigure. Cool. All right, any oppositions before I start? I don't want any haters here. I don't want any haters. All right. What was I doing, guys? I forget. Okay, here we go. All right, now that we have our like general thing, I'm gonna do a wireframe modifier so I can see what this is gonna look like. All right, I feel like that's like more or less pretty good. I'm really only doing this for the depth of field, more or less. All right, so we can hide this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add in a cylinder. We're going to scale it way, way, way down. And we're going to make this dude's face. Also, I'm going to take this and move it on the Y, RV190, and then I'll like this. There we go. And we'll move it right here. We'll move this up. Tab into edit mode, scale it down. Wow, that is quite the bevel. This bro has a beveled head. Has a beveled head, might I say. We'll add a bevel to this. Actually, you know what? No, we'll do this all in edit mode. I'm sorry, we'll do it in edit mode. Yeah. Okay, so we'll tab into edit mode. We'll grab our inner part right here. We're gonna go ahead and inset this a bunch. I'm going to extrude it down. We'll see if we got the width correct. Oh, I need to center this guy anyway. And you know what? I will say something. I actually think this blueprint is off. Oh, it totally is off, bro. Totally is off. Or maybe not. Maybe it's not off. Is it? Could be. Yeah, you know what? We'll just do the best of our abilities here. Okay, so we have this. Cool. We got the neck. Awesome. And then let's get the top of the head there. Well, first of all, let's grab this face here. bring it up. Let's go ahead and inset this guy. I want to say the top, no, the top is going to be smaller. So we'll go like right here. Going to be smaller. Going to be smaller. And it's going to be even smaller. That's perfect. And now we have like the, I guess the basics of the head. If bro is beveled. Bro is beveled like crazy. Look at this bro's beveled head. All right, and then we're going to take the edges here. Actually, before I do this, I'm going to add a bevel here. Hear me out. Hear me out. Your guys are like, no, not the whole thing's beveled. Kenny, don't do it. Just watch. Edge split, subdiv. Hear me out, bro, before you... Oh my gosh, stop freaking out, bro. All right, weight, right? We're going to put on some weight here. We'll go ahead and take these two. We'll give it a mean bevel weight. But before we do that, we got to go to object apply scale because we're going to have some crazy beveling going on here. All right. And then look, we can adjust right here as we see fit. We'll go to the front. It actually doesn't look too far off. I'm even tempted to say slightly less. That looks good. And then we can take our bottoms right here. We'll bring this down a little bit. I feel like that doesn't look that bad. We'll shade it auto smooth. Nice. What do you guys think? Now, there's a couple other things I want to mention. Believe it or not, though, even though, if we look up here, even though our bevel looks good, there's always going to be a very slight bevel at the top and the other sides too. So I will shift select those guys, and we'll give them a slight, not a crease, I'm sorry, a slight bevel weight, right? Because we want to have like some kind of precision here, and we'll do a bevel here as well, just ever so slightly. Same down here, ever so slightly. Nothing crazy. And now what we have is we have this really nice, high quality Lego head. Good. Moving on. What's next? The torso? Okay, torso. Probably use a cube. I feel like arguably it's probably the best object to use. We'll scale that guy down. Same old, same old, same old, same old. Let's see up here. Okay, so there's like two parts to it, it looks like. There's kind of like this... You know what's weird, though? If you look at this image, something tells me, is this image AI generated? Bro, I'm going to be so mad if this image... If this image is AI generated, oh, I'm going to crash out, bro. All right, it's all good. I'm not going to crash out, guys. All right, let's get the width first. Let's go ahead and scale this on the Y. Let's move it up, scale it up a little bit. Press A, scale it out. We'll get the top width, and then we'll get the bottom width. Now, it's weird because, like, there's this part. Man, I wish I had a Lego piece on me right now. Hold on. I wish I had this in front of me so I could see it. Okay, so it does have that additional piece there. But why does it have that additional piece? Is that part of the pants? I think it's part of the pants. Okay, so we're just doing the top part, and the pants are different part right here. That's good. I should probably get another reference image just to see, but that's fine. All right, so we have it scaled out. Now, does it scale out this way? No, it stays flat. And then I think we're good from there. I'm tempted to say that's it, and then we'll just add a little bit of a bevel action here on the top. We'll do the same thing. We'll do a bevel modifier, okay? What did I do, 10 on the last one? But we're going to do a method of weight. So we'll tab, well, first of all, object, apply, scale, right, always. We'll tab into edit mode. We'll give these two some weight to them. Go ahead and go over here. Mean bevel weight. Whoa. That looks good. Is there any on the bottom? No. Is there any on the sides? Yeah, probably slight, but nothing too crazy. I'm going to do this. Watch. Select, invert, and we'll give them just the slightest little bevel. Ooh. Bro, why is, whoa, wait a minute. What's happening here? Oh, we got to go to geometry, and we have to do arc. Oh! We have to do patch. No, how do you do the corners? I forget, bro. No, oh my gosh. I don't want... Hold on, let's go back. Yeah, so I think I do another bevel on top of this bevel. Yeah, that's what I do. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. There we go. How's that look? Not great. Why does it not look great? We'll come back to that. I feel like that's more or less basically it. Now check this really, really cool thing out. We're going to take the bottom face. We're going to duplicate it. And what the heck? We're going to right click. We're going to go to separate selection. There it is. And then we're just going to take this, get rid of the bevels for a second. We'll go back up here. We'll extrude it down. And here's the start of our pants. Right, this is the start of our pants right here. Now it looks like the pants have like, again, this model looks different than the other one. So hold on. I feel like we have to go with, oh, this is a great reference image here. Okay, so this one over here on the right looks correct. This does not look correct. Gosh darn it, bro. How did we manage to, like, I truly don't understand, like, how this image, maybe this image was never correct at all. Let me see something. Get rid of this car stuff. Lego figure. Maybe, excuse me, maybe it was like this after all. No, that can't be right. That looks more correct. That does not look correct. Bro, why do they all look different? I'm only mad because it almost seems like no one can agree on like what this darn thing looks like. That also doesn't look correct. This looks correct. I don't know why, but I'm going to just save this image. I know this isn't really like the image we want, but we're going to go and open an image. We'll just open up this guy right here because this is actually how it's supposed to look. So what I'll do is I will just kind of estimate where this piece is going to go. We'll bring it down. So it probably goes down to here, right? And if we just focus on this guy and talk about this, we can go like this. Yep. This guy down. I feel like it looks more like that. Thoughts, guys? I feel like that's correct. Okay. All right. I'm feeling a little bit better. And then the legs are like kind of like the same, but also like separate. So like we'll do the same thing there. Okay, I just want to make sure I get this right. Perfect. Give it a little bevel. Go ahead and shade that smooth. Why is it triggering me so much that he saves his files and download? Sorry, bro. Gosh darn. Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. I don't know why this guy does that, bro. Nah, I don't know. I guess it's just what I do. All right. Let's add a cylinder. Scale it way, way, way down. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's do this. Wait a second. There we go. I feel like that looks correct. All right, I feel pretty good about that. And then I think we're gonna need, because I do think there's like a piece we can't see under here. I'm gonna need a bevel, but I'm gonna go to Object, Apply, Scale. And you know what? I'm just gonna copy this bevel here. Copy the modifiers. Boom. But I do need edge split, of course, like we talked about. And I need the subdiv after that. Beautiful. Shade auto smooth. We're good to go. Boom. There's that piece. All right, now we're gonna need to use a mirror modifier for the next part. I have some ideas on how I want to do this. You guys are going to laugh, but I'm actually going to duplicate, oopsies, I'm going to duplicate this, right? I am going to go to edit mode here. I'm going to scale it on the X, all right, like this. And then I'm going to do a mirror on the X, but I'm going to mirror it across this. That's weird. Why isn't it working? Excuse me. Oh, because Object, Apply, rotation. No, that's what? Set origin to geometry. Bro, what's happening? Doesn't matter. Okay, either way, because I just want to make sure. Yep. Okay, so when we extend, okay, we're good. We're good. We're good. All right, what I need to do is now I need to extend these for the legs, but also I need to scale this up a little bit. Actually, no, I don't, because I don't know if that's even correct at all. But I do know this. These pieces probably start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8. I'm tempted to say easy. Does that look correct? No, I feel like it has even more. Probably goes like this, right? Let me just see if this looks correct. Actually, I think that does look correct. Okay, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. SZ0 to flatten. And then let me just see what these guys look like from here. Okay, so then they have... Oh, okay, I feel like that's probably doable. All right, let's do this. Let's bring this down. Let's do a loop cut right here. SZ0. GZ. And then take this and just extrude it out. Is that it? I feel like that's more or less like kind of it. And then I kind of want to reduce the opacity of these guys too. Okay, sorry. Why is it triggering me so much? Yep. Sorry, your screen capture is perfect. May you share how you do it? Oh, you mean how I got this up here? I literally went up here and went to image editor, and then I just added the image in with open. I opened the image. I was wondering, how would you approach to the dragonfly insect wing? I'll write that down. That's an interesting one. Okay, dragonfly insect wing. Awesome. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do next is I am going to do the arms, and I think that'll be it. After the arms, I think we're going to be Gucci. Now, the arms are going to be probably the toughest part. They probably don't look like the toughest part, but I think they will be the toughest part. So let me just think about how I'm going to do them first. I'm originally thinking like a capsule or a sphere. I'm thinking this through before I do this, because they end in a cylinder, but then they come up into like a... the arms, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. Part of me like wants to say a cylinder, but then part of me wants to say no. Like another part of me wants to say use a curve and then give it a like surface. I don't know. This might be the toughest part of the whole model, but I think we're doing really good. Use OBS. Oh, display capture is OBS. No, I love OBS. That's what I use. That's what I use. All right, let's do this. Let me turn on cavity here so we can kind of see the edges. So, okay, let me see something. Add, oopsies. Add mesh. It's funny, they don't even have capsule in here. Oh, wait a second. Can we use a meta ball? Ooh, if we can use a meta ball, that'd be kind of huge. I don't know if this is going to work, but let's try it. Can you do mirror modifier with the meta ball? I don't know if you can. So the idea behind a meta ball is you duplicate it and you can kind of like morph things into each other, right? So now I'm thinking maybe we can do this. Let's try it. I don't know. It might not work. Or we can at least take this as the base mesh and then modify it from there, right? Let's try it. We'll mirror it afterwards. Although, can you mirror? No, you can't mirror it right now. Okay, that's fine. All right, I kind of want to just try this and see if it works. So we have this. Let's go here. This kind of looks here. SY, rotate. I feel like that's like kind of it-ish, right? You kind of have like this arm, right? Kind of looks like that. And then why is it not? It should be rotated more like this. There we go. And then we'll flatten that out. So it comes back and then it goes forward. And that's it, really. All right, let's see what this looks like. Ugh, does not look great. I really thought it was going to work. All right, that's fine. We'll just model it from scratch. All right, so instead of doing all that, sorry guys for wasting your time with that one. I think I might just do it like a cylinder. And I think I might be able to make this work from a cylinder. All right, let's do this. Let's model it from a cylinder. I'm tempted to say we could start where it's like this. Like, hold on. Yeah, I'm tempted to say we could start there. Now, with this one, there is a cutout. So, like, at the bottom, there's like an inset, and then the face is cut like that. Now, I'm going to assume we cut the face off the top, too, because I want to have, like, I think I'll start like this. And I'm tempted to say we can just take the top loop and just kind of extrude it. Like, I feel like there's a lot of different approaches you could take to, like, modeling something like this. But for the, in general, like, I feel like this might be the way to do it. And then I do think that you can actually, we might be able to, like, bring this into sculpt mode. And then obviously subdiv, you know, definitely going to have a subdiv. Okay, so now here's like the interesting part. This is where we got to like rotate it, right? And kind of like start bringing it into the body. And now I'm like, how do we do this, right? Let me just see something. This looks horrible. Oh my God, it looks so bad, bro. This is the worst thing I've ever seen. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. I'm sorry. This is horrible. So bad. It's so bad, bro. It's so bad. Oh my gosh, I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed, bro. Take my Blender license away. Why does it look like that over here, though, bro? Oh my gosh, it looks so bad. Holy crap. Holy crap. I can't. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't think this part of the Lego was gonna be so hard. I know it's in all like, to be realistic about this. I'll be honest. I don't know what the best way to model this is. I guess you could do a sphere, or like a capsule, if you will. Mint, bro. We got Temu Lego over here. It looks so bad. All right, we're gonna fix this. Let me really genuinely think about this for a second. The other thing is it's kind of cut off. Like it's like if you really look, like, you know what part of me wants to do? I do wonder. This is a crazy like way to do this. We might be able to do it with a plane and like subdivide it, and then like, you know, take the plane and do all this stuff to it. Let's see. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I've flipped it. I'm gonna scale it down. Go into edit mode. All right, this might not work at all. Oh, I was like, I'm sorry. I'm thinking through, like, if I was actually modeling this, like, what, yeah, oh man, yeah, he's not doing too hot, is he? He's really not doing too hot. I am just trying to think through, like, if we were to do this, like, what would be the best approach in a way that actually makes sense. This is a good angle of it. Because it's like a weird shape. Like, it's like a, like, this is like a very tough shape to model. Like, it's actually a really good modeling challenge, because it's like, how do you match that weird bevel? I think, like, I have an idea. Like, I think I could probably join two things together and then, like, remesh them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm tempted to say I could do that. Let me try something. This might not work at all. Let me just try a couple things. All right, let's just say we had this, right? We extruded this, we scaled it down, right? There we go, extruded, rotate, you know, the whole shebang. This is where it will get tough, because this turns into a cylinder. Could we use metaballs? I thought we could. Cylinder with Boolean sphere. I thought about that too. Like, so here was my original thought, though, as you guys are talking about that, is you do a subdiv, right? You do a solidify, like this, right? kind of pull this whole thing in here, whatever, rotate it, do whatever you have to do. Now you have this piece, right? And then you keep going from there, but then you're going to need to join this with, you're going to need to join this with like a cylinder with a hole in it. Although I guess, you know what though? We don't have to have the hole in the cylinder because the hand is in the is where the hole is. But hold on, let me do smooth. Oh, let me do remesh first. That's right. This is the key. This is the key. You got to do remesh, smooth shading, and then you smooth it over. But you do this. Hold on. Do voxel for now. How many subdivs do we have here? We'll just do one. All right, now we need to smooth this out more. But we need bigger octree depth. This might be a good approach, and then you could take it into sculpting from here. But I will be honest, this is a pain because now I'm like, do I add a cylinder? And then do I take this cylinder? Hold on. Do I take this cylinder, scale it down? This is crazy. It's gonna look so bad. Hold on. Such a pain though. It's funny, I didn't really anticipate this being the biggest pain, but it was, right? It really was. Okay. Just take the top face. Oh. Okay. Okay, good. Bruh. I mean, we're getting somewhere. Oh, you know what? It doesn't help that we have a solidify modifier on. But, like, this might be, like, the way to go about it. This is just an idea, but, like, obviously this is not going to work. Honestly, I'm tempted to say you could use proportional editing right there. Perfect. I mean, this is amazing, right? The subdivided cube that ends with the circled face. That could... Are we serious, bro? It's supposed to be something complex. Anyone can model a Lego character. Oh, really? Oh my gosh. Bro, I'm so sorry. Black Pearl dash 000. I would love to see your modeling process. If you could just post that in full and tag us all, we'll be sure to critique your modeling process. Maybe start from the arm top with the sphere and then go down. That's also a good idea. Actually, you know what? Let's try the sphere thing. Let's just try the sphere thing. And obviously, I'm just messing with you, Black Pearl 000. We're all here for constructive criticism, but that right there was not a constructive comment. So I'm going to call you out on that one. We're here to help, not to hurt. All righty, here we go. Let's try this. Yeah, I think this might be a better approach. I think it might be. He said, hey, I'm enjoying the show. Okay, let's try it. Now, again, like a lot of different ways to do this, but I think I kind of want to try like, how do you expand the selection? Select, what do you do? Expand more, select, where is it? Control, multi-post, I guess fine. All right, I just want to get rid of these faces. I want to take the edge of this. I want to delete the edge. I want to take the edge of this. Oops, no, I don't want to delete the edge. I want to delete... I want to delete these faces. There we go. And then I want to take this, and then I could like expand off of this, I guess, is what I could do. I feel like this might be the approach. I don't know. This could be the approach. Because then you can, well, you know what? Hold on, let me do this again. Because now I'm like, maybe it does start like this. Maybe it just... Oh, we need to get rid of proportional editing. Maybe it does start like this, and then it expands. Wait a second. Yeah, no, and thank you. That is kind of like the comment I was going for. So like, we are all learning from this, right? Like, in my opinion, at least this is how I like to experiment. And this is how I like to learn. Oops, this is good for me too. I mean, in my opinion, it should be good for all of us, right? There is no such thing as a perfect Blender artist. right? And there shouldn't be. Like we should always be aiming to improve. This might be the best approach though that I could think of. At least whoever said sphere, that was a good move because I feel like that kind of brought us in the correct direction, at least. Just want to see what that looks like. That doesn't look terrible. That doesn't look terrible. It definitely looks better than what we had before. Definitely looks better than what we had before. Yeah, I like this a lot better. And then we could smooth it after this. But I do want to take the end of this and extrude and scale it in because there's a hole at the bottom of that. This looks way better. Way better. Okay, I think we'll go with something like this. I'm happy with that, at least right now. Let me just check the like proportions. They're a little off, so we might need to take like a few of these. Oh, let me hide this real quick. Might need to take a few of these different areas and like maybe, you know, shrink them down a little bit. Like this. Oh, I didn't need to do that. Just a little bit. There we go. And that looks better. Definitely much better. This is a complex shape. It really is. But now that we've done that, I think it's already looking a lot better. I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, no, this looks a lot better. All right, let's go back. I just need to unhide this thing that I hid. There we go. And then we'll do our mirror. And we'll do it on the X across this. Okay. And then we just got to do our claws and then we're done. And then we can do the fun part, which is in my opinion, like the shading and things like that. You know, the funny part is like, and I kind of want to talk about this real quick is, I think that it's expected that when a Blender artist is on YouTube or they make a video, everyone expects them to know exactly what they're doing. I'm so sorry, guys. That's just not true. Like, and it never will be. Like, let me tell you something, because no one talks about this stuff. The behind the scenes, you're never going to see it. On professional Blender YouTubes, you're never going to see them messing up. You're always going to see them not making mistakes, doing everything perfectly on the right try, on the first try. That is not how it happens. I can promise you that. Even Blender artists that have way more experience than me, they still mess up, they still experiment, and then they get good results after hours and hours and hours of trial and error. I promise you, you're never going to see that side of YouTube. But I'm telling you it's true, because that's what I do. I mess up. And I'd rather show you me messing up than show you and act like everything's perfect all the time, because I'm sorry, it's just not. So yeah, just had to say that real quick because I think it's important. All right. Now that we got all that out of the way, actually, I think, you know what's annoying is it's almost like, yeah, I want to take this because I want to do. No, I messed it up. I'm gonna go back. It was fine in the first place. It was fine in the first place. That's fine. Okay. You don't know. I know. That's yeah. I know. Yes, and thank you for saying that. Finally, someone said it. Everyone thinks the solution is instant. It's never instant, bro. Never. It's never instant. It's like so far from the truth. And that's a lot of the time why people struggle with client projects, because the client, when you have a client, most clients at least, like your typical client, they always think, they're like, well, it's easy, you just make a quick change, you're an expert, right? Well, not exactly, because sometimes you have to experiment and you have to get like a result based on what a client thinks that they want, right? So it's a challenging thing. All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna duplicate this. I'm gonna go like this. Oopsies, I had it right the first time. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna kind of scale this up however big this is. I'm going to kind of model this part first and then join it in with the other part. And then we're going to do a remesh modifier and smooth because I want to. How about that? And you know what? I'm going to show you guys something really cool because I think this is going to work. I think we can do this. I think we can take the vertices of this and we can select, I don't know, these guys. Delete them. Did I delete the correct amount? I did. No way, bro. Select it with L, extrude, scale. And don't worry, we'll fix the rest, but I'm just going to show you this. We'll go to our X-ray mode. SY0, SY0. And You know how I know this blueprint is AI? Look at the arms. They're facing the exact same way on both sides. And guess what? We're not doing it, are we? No, we're not. Scale these guys in. And I think what I'll do, yeah, I could keep these separate. I don't know. There's so many ways we could go about doing this. All right, here we go. Let's bring this over here. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere here. Oh, what happened? How did I do that? Oh, no, bro. What happened? It's fine. I'll just add another cylinder. I really don't know how that happened. It's all good. Just bring it down. Okay. I think we're getting somewhere here. Why is it so, like... You know what? We'll rotate everything ourselves. Yeah, we'll do like a little something like that. Because you know what? At the end of the day, when we can put this however we want this. In fact, I think I might even place it manually. How's that sound? Yeah, I feel like that looks good. But you know what? There's a couple things. One, I think it's smaller. So we'll scale it down a little bit. And I'm going to need a mirror, of course, on this side. Cool. I'm going to need I might do a remesh. Like, I'm tempted to do a remesh, but I don't want to, like, confuse people and tell them this is, like, the only way to do it. Actually, voxel looked pretty good. We'll add a smooth shading, shade it smooth. We will also smooth it out a little bit. No, we don't want that. Oh, you know what I forgot to add? I forgot to add, shoot, what was it? I was gonna add a bevel. Oh, that's what I was missing. Okay, yeah. Hold on. Let me turn all this off to show you guys what this is gonna look like. I wanted to add a bevel on this. That's what I was gonna add. So I want to add a bevel on these two right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, something like that. That way, it just has a little bit of something else here. Yeah, it looks a little bit better. Generally, I'm pretty happy with this. There's only a couple of things I'd probably change. I don't love, like, the banding, and that has to do with this. So let me just fix that. Let me just do this. Different amount. Okay. We can fix that, though. You know what I can do? I can do an edge split like we did before. We'll do that right here. And then we'll do a subdiv. And then I think after that, we can take this guy, move it down just a little bit because I want these to intersect. I feel like this is going to look pretty good. Although I guess we really don't have to join them. They're not really joint, are they? I guess they're not joint. We don't have to necessarily join them. You know what? Let's see what it looks like with it and then without it, and then we can go from there. Remesh, mirror, and smooth. Actually, mirror should be at the end. You know what's funny? I actually think it looked fine before, so we'll turn these off. All right, how's this looking? What do we think, guys? I mean, be honest. Are we happy with this? I feel like I'm pretty happy with this, and I am ready to light this thing with cycles, not with Eevee. Ugh. Sorry, I had to say it. All right, area light. Scale it way down. And, oh, Lord. Need to adjust the intensity, too. Why is it so intense? That's because it's just like such a small object. Okay, we're going to add a plane. We're going to move down. Someone said they love it. Oh my God, we're missing so many good questions. I'm so sorry, guys. Hold on a second. So, you're almost perfect. This is great first day of your blender. Yo, Your videos are very cool. Not anyone can do a challenge Blender live. Thank you. I appreciate that. Exactly. And there's always new work. And that's the thing, bro. There's always new workflows. People don't understand. You know what I will say, though? I'm not incredibly happy with this because I think there's a stronger bevel. But let's come back to it. Let's get some materials on this thing because I want to kind of make this thing have a nice little, let's see. How about a glossy BSDF with this really nice, like, yellow? We'll do a brighter yellow, too. Brighter yellow. And you know what? I want to do, actually, no, let's do principled. Principled BSDF. Where is it? Yeah, and then let's do yellow. Okay, and let me also get a little environment texture going here so we can really see the sheen on this thing. I'm going to do an environment texture, and I'm going to make a black and white version of that environment texture. Oh, I don't like that one. That's better. All right, check this out. Ready? We're going to go to Shading tab. We're going to go to View Frame Selected. Are you guys following along? Are we following along with me or no? Okay, that's fine. All right, and we're going to go to Coat. We want the coat to be high because we want this really nice like sheen, like this plastic sheen. That looks good. Roughness, we can change that here. I actually thought it was pretty good in the first place. Tint. I haven't really tried tint. Oh, that's kind of nice. I didn't realize you could do that. Let's get a camera on this thing, shall we? Oh my Lord, look at the camera. What the heck? Oh, we already had a camera. Aha! Let's snap to the other camera. So now, let me explain some stuff about cameras real quick. We want a 100mm lens because we're going to pretend like we are photographing this as like as a toy. So we're going to pretend we have this really nice like lens that's going to get real nice and close to our subject. Okay, we're going to snap to our camera. And then we're going to enable depth of field. Check it out in the viewport. We're going to go to our camera properties. We're going to enable depth of field. Everything is going to get really blurry because we don't have a focal object. We'll focus on our guy right here. We'll give ourselves an f-stop of 6. Now we have this really macro version of our object. It looks really good. And you know what? I want to get closer. Actually, I want to get a little bit closer to our object here. Let's get even closer. Let's move down to right about here. And you can do an 85mm lens if you want to. I like to hold shift when I'm moving the camera because it allows me to more precisely control where the camera is. And also, I'm going to actually get rid of my focus object. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus really, really close to the camera here. Notice how I'm holding shift. You probably don't know that I'm holding shift. I'm holding shift because I want to focus ever so slightly on this subject here. Perfect. Now we have this really nice depth of field. You won't be able to tell until we have like a background, but so far, so good. All right, let me go ahead and copy this material over here. And then what did we have for our, what did we have up here? Image editor. Was it this guy? I think it was this guy. Do we want him to look like this or we want him to look like something different? Because we can probably do like, I guess we could do red for this guy. Want to see something real? You know what's really cool? Actually, you can actually change. You can have the same image, the same shader on this, but with a different color. But there's a way you can set it up in geometry nodes. For now, I'm just going to copy this exact shader. I'm going to go here. I'll paste it in, and I'll just swap the color. It's fine. And then we can just basically say, you know what? I want the same color, and then we can decide, like, whatever else we want to do. Why isn't this working? There we go. Okay, and then, I kind of want to try blue. Like, I'm tempted to say, like, a light, like a darker blue. I don't know, it's, like, looking pretty cool. It's pretty shiny. Is it too shiny? I think it's good. I think it's pretty shiny, but it's looking pretty good. All right, let's go, and I guess we can set up, like, a really cool, like, background on this bad boy. Object apply scale. I'm going to show you guys how to make this really cool, like, grid background. Let me just get my camera here. Okay, good. All right, here we go. New material. I would like this to have a brick texture. I want to make this feel like super, super macro. So what I'm going to do is have no offset, huge scale. Okay, actually we can adjust that later. 1-to-1 brick height and width. And then I want to do, I think I'll do black for all these. And then for the mortar, I'll make it white. And now you have this really nice like grid background. You don't have to do it like this, but if you want like everything to feel like this, you can do that. can also like reduce this. Now I want to show you guys how we're gonna get we can take the mortar and we can actually make it have a real bump. So we can take the factor and plug it into a bump node. We can go and plug this into the height and the normal into the normal. Now you'll see if you look really close, it's right there, right? You can adjust the distance here, and then the mortar size you can adjust as well, obviously. And then there's mortar smooth, which will make it actually have like a real crease in there. You can also filter the roughness, or filter the like the smoothness, I feel like, if you will. And look, we can just do like very, very subtle here. And now look, the floor actually has a real like crease in it. So now it looks like these are like real tiles. And then you can go in here and you can plug in a color. Right? If you want to like control the color manually of each individual thing, you can do that. Right? So you can come in here and be like, you know what, I want to try like kind of like an off gray or maybe like a pure white. You can do that, and you can adjust the mortar as well. It's pretty awesome. So now we have this really cool macro shot of our Lego guy, and then it's looking really realistic because we gave it realistic materials. We gave it like realistic scale, and then we also gave it like realistic like depth of field, right? Now, if we want to like step it up even further, we can add noise to the roughness of this. So we can go in here and, you know, you guys know this trick, right? You get a noise texture, plug it into a color ramp, and then we can go ahead and plug this into the roughness. Do this, scale it up a bunch. And then what I'll do is I will do a lot of detail, a lot of roughness, a little bit of distortion. You can see, you can kind of see like down here what's like actually happening. It just gives the floor like a little bit of variation, right? You don't have to do this, but you can. Almost tempted to say this is a little bit too much. Let me increase the roughness, lower the detail a little bit. Now let me increase the detail. All right, let's see how this is looking. Not terrible. I don't love the floor. We can change it back if we want to. But so far, it's looking pretty good. And then let me take a look at the comments and see what people are saying, and then we can kind of go from there. Applying a bevel to the normal and the shading could be an option. Yes, it can be an option, and it is possible to do that. Oh, you know what? I don't like the way... I knew something was off. Something seems off about this. Why does this feel off? You know what? I wonder if we just inset this, if that would fix all of our issues. Did that fix it? Yep, it did. All right, whatever. Easy fix. Boom. I knew the shading felt off somehow. All right, now let's see here. Oh, nice. Wow. Thank you guys so much. Are you adding a face to it? That would be amazing to see. Dude, that looks amazing. White is cool. Gives a marble feel. It's just a little too shiny. Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Let's dumb it down like a little bit here. See, well, maybe like do this. How's that feel? Better? So that's not terrible. Anyway, we can always come back to that. You know what? Let's figure out how can we add a face to it. I'm going to go over a really easy way to do that. Let's check it out. We're going to go here. We're going to say Lego face PNG. Now, if it's not a PNG, that's okay, because you know what we have? We have the ability to cut it out anyway. I do want to see something. Oh, this is perfect. Let's take this guy. Let's go ahead and save this as an image. You guys, this is why we build tools for ourselves. This is literally a tool I built for myself. We're going to go here. We're going to go to our background remover. We're going to plug in our image that we just downloaded, which is right here. And I am going to go ahead and I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to filter color 1. I'll click on this. That's gone. Filter color 2. That's gone. Now we're just left with this. There's only one problem with what we just did, and that is where? We don't want all of the white gone. So I'll show you how we can modify that. So I'll actually not filter out the white. I'll keep the white, but we can actually crop this. I think this will work. I think we can crop it from the left. Is that gonna work? Doesn't seem to want to work. Oh, here we go. Crop it from the left and the bottom. Oh, bro, no. No, Blender's going to freeze. Guys, I apologize. The stream might freeze for a second. I forgot this is up and running. Are we back up and running? Okay, I think we are. All right, we're good. All right, I'm going to show you a different way to do this. Stupid thing. You know what's funny? That's the second time that Blender has crashed because of that. I don't know. I really don't know why. Like, oh, it's such a pain, bro. Anyway, I want to add a mesh plane. I'm going to add this face because this is what I want. I'm going to scale this bad boy down. Move it over here. Okay, so this plane right here, turn my overlays. This is what we want, right? I'm going to show you guys a really cool way to like, basically a way to get rid of certain parts of this so that we can wrap it around our face. There's a lot of different ways that you can like go about doing this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the yellow and just crop it in because I think that's the easiest way to do it. So let's do that. Let's go to our material preview. Here we go. And I am going to go ahead and do a mix shader, do a color ramp, and I'm going to do a transparency. So what basically the way this is going to work is we're going to make anything transparent that we don't want. Also, I'm going to subdivide this a couple times anyway because I only need certain parts of this. So what I'll do is I'll actually delete the stuff that I know I don't need. I don't need these faces. I don't need these faces, so I'll delete those. I don't need these faces, and I don't need these faces. So now I'm just left with this, and yeah, I know it's a little bit cut off, but you get the idea. And then all I need to do is plug in my color here, and I need to figure out what color I want to get rid of. Now in this case, this gets rid of white, but I actually don't want that. I want to get rid of like this like weird yellow color, and I want to filter it out. I'll show you how we're going to do that. We need, and we kind of like more or less need like the exact color. So let me see if I can get the exact color or at least something close to it. I'll give this a save too. All right, let's see. This will be a tough one. Oh, you know what? I'm stupid. We can do it. There's a different way we can do this. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. Make this like that. Let me do this. It's perfect. And we'll do, I think if we invert it, it might work a little bit. Wants to work. It works for the white. Yo. Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. Wait, what happened to the... Oh, it's trying to get rid of that too. Oh, that's annoying. All right, I'll just cut it out in an online thing. That's fine. That will work though with black and white photographs, just as an FYI. Okay. Yeah, here we go. I'll do it. I'll do it manually. It's fine. By the way, there's a free online program that you guys can use yourselves too if you want to. I'm just deleting the background here. Okay. We're just going to replace this with this. Oh, crap. I accidentally... That's fine. We'll just re-add it again. Add image, reference, whatever. Or not reference. I'm sorry. We want to add an image, and then we want to add it as a mesh plane. I'm going to come over here. Delete this guy. Go back. Add image, reference, mesh plane. Not reference, mesh plane. And boom. Okay. There we go. Scale it down. Sorry, guys. That was my fault. Okay, now we can get back to it. I don't really know how big it's supposed to be. I guess like that. That feels about right. And then we'll tab into edit mode, subdivide it a few times, and we're basically just going to wrap it around this face. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can do this. Most people would shrink wrap it. We can try that, but I'll show you another method if that doesn't look good. Okay, we'll shrink wrap. Oops. Offset it a little bit too. So one of the only reasons I wouldn't do shrink wrap is because you have to be really, really, really precise about like where it's sitting. But this doesn't look too terrible. The other part is you're gonna have to kind of like stretch this out on the X to kind of undistort it. So that's one of the reasons I don't use shrink wrap like that. But for the most part, that's like kind of how I go about doing it. And then you go back into shading, and what you can do here is just kind of like go here, lower the roughness a little bit, or you can go to the coat. Increase the coat. What did I have for this guy? Oh, roughness is high. That's fine. That looks good. And that's pretty much all I would do for that. And then you can do whatever else you need to do with like decals or whatever. And that's one way to do it. There's other ways to do it. I know that's not the only way, but that's the way that I'm showing you guys how to do it. You don't have to do it like that though. Also, what is this right here? Oh, it's a meta ball. We never deleted the meta ball. Oopsies, that was my fault. All right, that's generally how I would do it. I will also mention we probably don't need this light anymore. And if we want to, we can swap out the HDRI. If we want something warmer, we can do that. If we want something that's outdoors, we can do this. If we want something that is outdoors again, but slightly different, we can do that. Now, I like swapping these out and trying different methods. This is actually a HDRI of my actual room, which is pretty cool. I took that a while ago. Let's try this one here. It's not a bad one. Again, it really just depends on like the lighting setup that you're going for specifically. That one's a little bit too dull for my liking. I like ones that have a little bit more like complexity to them for these like reflections. This is a pretty good one. I really like this one because I feel like it has a lot of contrast. But I will say it looks pretty good. All right. The other thing I want to do, because I kind of showed you guys this earlier, is I actually want to go into my world settings, and I want to do the hue and saturation, and I want to add it in here, and I want to delete the saturation altogether. I don't want there to be any saturation. And there you go. Easy. What do you guys think so far? Are you guys enjoying the live stream? Filmic. High contrast. Boom. And I do, like, I don't know, I'm not in love with the tiles. We could probably change them up. And then, yeah, I don't know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not, like, in love with the tiles. It is what it is. We can always change them later. But you get the rough idea. I don't love the texture, though. The live stream made your morning? Thanks, brother. I appreciate that. All right, what was the next request? This one was fun, though. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. What was our next request? That was sorry, guys. I didn't think that one was going to, like, actually take that long. Ark of the Covenant model. All right, I will let you guys vote on what's next. How about we start a poll? And for the poll, we'll do choose. And let's choose what we want to do next. I'll give you guys some options. Well, first of all, let's do this. Modeling or simulation. And the poll begins now. I'm going to get a drink of water. I'll be right back. Simulation. Okay. All right. All right. Chocolate cream covering a biscuit. Oh Lord, that'll be interesting. All right, one more. Okay, here we go. Last poll here. Oh my god. Oh geez, everybody wants a sandstorm. I don't even know how I'm gonna do that, but we'll try it. Like a sandstorm. Wait a second. You mean like an actual sandstorm? Oh, you mean like? Oh wow, yeah, okay. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Oh boy. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. Oh Lord, this is gonna be crazy, bro. Oh, let me think. I cannot believe, bro. What in the world am I getting? God damn it! Everybody wants to do it too. Okay, all right. Let me think about how we would do this. Let me think. Let me pretend like I just got hired by the new Dune movie and they really want me to do this. Oh, epic, bro. Okay, wow. This is gonna be. Jesus. Okay. Was this Mad Max? Is that what it was? Mad Max? That was a cool movie. Dude, this is crazy, bro. Let me just like think about this for a second. I know, I'm like, so immediately when I look at this, I think about like, smoke simulations because you can simulate some of this, but it's such a large scale. You almost need to like fake it. I part of it is like you can do some of these things in the shader editor. Some of these things you can do with volumetrics. Some of these things you can do with particles. Oh man, there's I'm just thinking. I'm trying to think this through. Like, this is such a massive like simulation. Like, I mean, I'm assuming this was not a real sandstorm, and they had to simulate this. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't even know. Let me show you a couple tricks. I'll show you a couple things. We'll just add a cube in here. I just want to show you this because I don't think a lot of people realize you can do this. But in cycles, switch to cycles, and we go to. I'm just going to add a quick texture in here. So we have some lighting on our scene. So like, a lot of people don't realize you can do this. You can actually do. Oopsies. You can do this. You can go to volume. What is it? Was it volume? Principal volume, yeah. So you can plug a volume in here, right? I just want to show you guys this. And you can actually control this with a texture. So you can do like noise texture. Instead of 3D, you can do 4D and you can plug it into the density. Just want to show you this. I don't know if people realize you can do this or not. Need math node. I need to multiply this by a ridiculous amount. And we need to do this. There we go. Okay, so now you can kind of see. So, and again, I just don't think people realize you can do this, but this is really cool. So you can actually take a volume, you can plug in a color ramp and a noise texture, and you can like animate it like this. So you don't have to do this. I don't know if it'll work in Material Preview. No, it won't. Oh wait, maybe it will. Maybe it will. Yeah, it kind of will. So now you can kind of see this better in Material Preview. You can basically control this, and you can control the W, right? So you can kind of like simulate like whatever the heck this would be, right? kind of cool. But this is in 3D space. This isn't like a texture like on a surface. This is in like 3D space, right? So like it can get really interesting really fast. You kind of have this really weird like volume with this like almost like this cheese that's cut, right? So this is like one approach I might take, but again, like how do you make it look like a darn sandstorm? I don't know. This is where things get really crazy. And then the density, obviously you can change the color of this. You can make it look like sand or whatever the heck. But this is like one way I would like maybe go about like approaching this, but it gets really difficult really fast. Also, I do want to add a little bit of light into my scene here because this isn't very lit up. I do like, I don't know. I mean, I'm imagining with this like sandstorm thing, you kind of have this light coming from like one side. You can kind of get the idea of like how you might go about this, right? Kind of see through it a little bit better now. That's like kind of one approach. Like I don't really know how they do it in the movie, but this gives us an idea of like how we can make things look more complex when they actually aren't complex. Just an idea. But this is just one approach, right? So now let me show you like why is it that we're using this approach? Well, let me show you this. Let me save this real quick. Multiply increases the density. So now check this out. Now what we'll do is we'll add an actual smoke simulation. So we'll go to Object, Quick Effects, Quick Smoke, and now watch. We have an actual smoke simulation, right? But now what we can do is instead of using the regular built-in smoke, we can take our smoke that we've developed, and now it looks more complex, even though it's not. It's not more complex. And then you go back here, right? You take this, and then maybe you have some force fields and things like that. You're pushing the smoke down and you're spreading it out. So like theoretically, I guess you could like scale this up, something like this, bring it over here, scale it down, bring it back. Now, and this is the smoke emitter right here. Initial temperature, I'll do -10. So now you can see the smoke is going down, right? But I don't want the smoke to go away. I don't want it to dissolve at all. I want it to have 0 heat. This right here should be inflow, so it should constantly be flowing. Why is it not going down? That's weird. Hold on, go back. There we go. So now it's flowing down. It should be flowing down and moving to the left, though. Why is it not? Let me change the vorticity a little bit. It's a little bit better. Do 0.1. A little bit better. Let's raise the resolution to 100. So now we're going to get something that's a lot slower. So let me try 60 maybe. This is real time, by the way. You normally would bake a simulation out, obviously, but so there's your smoke, right? And now you come back here and you're like, oh, well, okay, let me see something here. Let me hide this. Let me take this. And now the reason you can't see all the smoke is because the scale is so low. But if you come in here and you're like, oh, let me bring the scale up. Now what you can see is now we have our smoke, but it looks so much more detailed than it actually is. Right? So you can kind of see how you can kind of start to get some interesting effects here, right? I'm just kind of pointing this out here. Now again, we kind of come back to our layout, right? Go to our solid view, and I'm going to dumb this down to like 30 for our resolution. And I want to show you, I'm going to do a vortex here. I'm going to bring it up, kind of rotate this a little bit. Now we have a vortex that should start spinning our smoke. Let's see if it works. And it does, a little bit. But I want it to be a little bit stronger. that's a little bit too strong. Hold on. Do a 10. Now look what we have, right? Let's do 3 for our strength. Notice how now our smoke is kind of traveling outwards here. And then you know what? Our smoke really should be like this, right? It should be kind of like this tall, kind of like plume, right? So now you have something like this, right? Now you kind of start to see like what we're working with here. And then you're like, wait a second, no, this needs to be like this. Now we kind of have this thing. What if we do -3 to make it go the opposite direction? Now notice how it's kind of spiraling at the bottom there like it should be. Does everyone kind of see what we're doing here? We're kind of just like experimenting here, right? We're going, right? And now you kind of have this thing that sort of starts to look like that big sandstorm. This is just an idea, but this is like generally how I would approach it. So, all right, well, guys, listen, it's been a nice long live stream. We've been live streaming for 3 hours and 20 minutes. If you enjoyed this, obviously consider subscribing. Like, I can't express that enough. But also, I do want you to please, 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 please check out our Super Hive pre-sale on core fundamentals of physics, of course, which I teach, but this is just our core 5.2 LTS. You guys can get it right now for only 150 bucks. I know, I keep preaching it, but I'm only preaching it because I genuinely think you guys could use all of this information, and if you're really interested in physics, which is what I teach, there it is right here. Core physics. And if you're wondering, well, what the heck am I going to learn, Kenny? Well, let me show you real quick just so you can see what you would learn specifically in my course, my specific course. So I'm just going to shout out my specific course because I'm just so excited about it. Here's the course trailer right here. So you learn a whole lot. Again, you learn a lot. Link is in the description right now or in the comments. This is my specific course that I'm selling with CG Cookie. I work with them directly, and there's 11 courses that are bundled into this big, massive core fundamentals of Blender. And of course, I'm teaching physics. You have everything from soft body physics to particle physics, force fields, rigid body physics, dynamic paint, and so much more. Oh, cloth physics, can't forget cloth physics. But there's a whole lot to learn, and it's a ton of fun. Oh my gosh, there's so much that you can do with it. I just genuinely can't express it enough. So if you haven't already checked that out, please consider checking that out right now. At least give it a peek. Give it a peek. And what's really cool, again, is that you can buy these a la carte. Let's say you only want to buy my specific course. You can actually do that. You can go and type in core physics, for example, which is my course. And here I am right here. Boom. Now, this is last year's. This year should also be out too. But you can buy my specific course. So if you only want to learn about just physics, you can buy that specific course, which is pretty cool. So again, core fundamentals. This is last year's bundle. And actually, if you want, you can check that out too. But the updated version is going to be right here. Ba-boom. And I think, yeah, we can go to CG Cookie here. So again, if you go here, you can see we have a bunch of other stuff available. This is all on Super Hive, or you can be subscribed on our website as well, and you can have access to most of this stuff. This is another cool one that just came out. This is like geometry nodes based. Yeah, this is an awesome one. Oh my gosh, I think this is Kaizen. Is this Kaizen? Yeah, it's Kaizen. Yeah. Wow. And you want to talk about someone who's incredible at Blender? That guy is amazing at Blender. Oh, there's so many fun ones on here. I almost want to. Let me see. Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a good one too. Skies. I mean, they're all amazing in their own way. Oh, this one's a good one too. I've taken a lot of these, and to be honest with you guys, and I know this is probably sounding like marketing to you, and you're probably sick of being sold things, but I just have nothing but good things to say about them. Nothing but good things to say. So you can buy from either one, wherever you want. I like Super Hive just because you can do a la carte, but we always encourage people to go to CG Cookie. CGCookie.com. Yep. We always encourage people to go to CG Cookie. Obviously, you guys should know our website by now. When will I return? I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not 100% sure, but this is the kind of content you're going to get out of me. So, oh, yo, this is, I forgot. We have this article too. If you guys ever want to check this out, this is an article that they actually wrote about me, which was really, really nice of them. Kind of forgot I did this. Oh my gosh, this was so long ago. Little procedural rope guy here. Oh, this was such a cool one. We did so many cool. This live stream was so awesome too. Because you just never know like what you're gonna get with me or with our users who are like describing like the things that they want. So yeah, super awesome. Any last minute questions, go ahead and drop them down in the comments below. Hope you guys have a great